welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by Patrick Price, aka Aches. We got Chris Duarte, aka Parasite, and then of course we got the one and only Mr. Benjay Nassim. Gentlemen, how we doing today, man? Everybody doing good? Everybody doing all right?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had matches in a while, so it was kind of fun getting back into routine, you know. Chris and Pat, I don't know how you felt, but it's just felt a little rusty.
Yeah, we
today.
haven't
I felt
had
like there were a lot of good mix.
COD for a few weeks, so we get right back into it. I was excited to watch some COD today. It's felt super dry. I just felt like we've been missing a little bit of Call of Duty since the major ended. But how you guys doing, Chris? How are you?
I'm good. I think my camera froze.
Oh, you're frozen?
It is very frozen, yeah.
I was like, damn, this guy's just sitting really still right now. My man got flashbanged. And then Pat, how are you, Pat? You doing all right?
Doing good. I'm rocking my my Don Dada Make It Rain shirt today since they got the win. So
I like that. I like that, Pat. Go get your Make It Rain shirt. Shout out to my man Don Dada. He was actually in here showing me some new music, and man, he's getting better, man. He's sounding good over there. But we had a long day at COD. We had 3 matches today. We obviously got some new looks to some players. We got new looks to some maps, or a map. We obviously got to see Expo here in the first series. But let's hop into it. Before we hop into it, I mean, Pat, you want to talk about X-Define? How's everything going at work? Everything all right there? X-Define's good?
it's going good, Tom. Going good. We might have a little something coming soon, Tom.
Yeah, a little something. All right, Pat. We'll be tuning in. We'll be watching. But hey, let's switch on over and let's go over the first series of the day. We got Fortress Hardpoint, El Asilo S&D, Expo Control, Embassy Hardpoint, Hotel Search. We got the Vegas Legion going up against the Boston Breach. Guys, it's the first time we're seeing Expo. What do you guys think about this? First time.
I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it, like in the series again while you fix the cams, Tom.
I mean,
thought,
what happened? Did Chris turn his off?
User in your channel.
He's just gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
I think we lost Chris. I don't know what happened to him.
He said his internet went out. But anyway, while Chris works on that, I thought you know, vetoes were interesting today. We knew that. I think the vetoes are very predictable, right? Boston does not really play Mercado. We knew Vegas wasn't going to square up on Hotel Hardpoint. Embassy Search has not really been kind to Vegas. And I guess Boston, with the Team A pick, decided the chance to possibly have Expo. Hotel's really the only control that Vegas is really comfortable on. They just not go to Silo. So I would assume that Boston knew by banning Hotel that we were going to get Expo. And it played out interesting. I mean, Vegas is still kind of iffy in that game mode, but you can get into the first map if you want.
Yeah, we'll get into the first map. I mean, I'm trying to do it all right now. But, Pat, what are your thoughts on the vetoes, Expo Control? I don't know if you've seen it at all today, but what were your thoughts on this, Pat?
I was expecting, I forgot who said it, Ben. I think you replied to it on the timeline. Someone said, like, I think it was attached, that it was going to get auto vetoed basically nonstop. So I was kind of surprised to see it get in today.
I mean, this is the thing with maps that are completely new. Like, we won't see it a lot, and then we'll see it a bunch before champs, and then we'll maybe see it at champs. With the throwback maps, we see them a lot because people are comfortable. But like the same thing happened with APOC. We saw it a couple times the first couple of weeks. We got more comfortable. They started playing a lot because they wanted reps, and then it will kind of settle into its normal part. But you're going to see Expo ideally in a lot of series where a team really only has like 2 good control maps, and maybe one of them was Hotel, and so they're just going to play Expo by default because they're not going to want to play a Silo or Hotel, whichever map is the one that they struggle on.
Yeah, we could get into the first map a little bit. I mean, I want to talk about Standy because he ends up going on a 10 spree early on, and Vegas ended up getting off to a pretty good lead. How do you guys think Standy looked today with Vegas? I thought going into the first hardpoint, I just think he adds a lot more slaying power to this team. I think he's going to help them out a lot. I know in the past, there's sub players. That was kind of always their thing. Like, they're good players, but when it comes to those top subs, when it comes to playing those top teams, they struggle. And I felt like Standy today really showed what he could do in the slaying department. But what do you think? I mean, Ben, we'll start with you. How did Standy do today? I thought he did a great job. A little 10 spree.
I thought for the first time in a long time, you know, the Vegas subs were the difference maker in this. And I thought Standy played really well. We want to give TJ his flowers. He was really good in this game. But I thought Standy, especially in the hard points, was in the middle of the maps like a complete difference maker. He went on a 10 spree right here. He went on a 10 spree in the final hard point as well. It seems like, you know, obviously Vegas ended up winning the series. It seems like this might have been a real smart move from Vegas to kind of poach him after they left Toronto and give them a little bit more slaying they didn't have before at this position.
Yeah,
to me, this was no
go ahead,
brainer.
Pat.
I mean, they needed someone who could slay. That's what they've lacked forever. Like TJ was not doing it in the past. And I think even Standy's elevating Tej to kind of play a little different in respawn, maybe taking a little pressure off him. I think this was a no-brainer move for Vegas, and honestly, I think they got really lucky that they were able to get somebody like Standy for basically nothing.
Yeah. Before we get into Chris Parasite's opinion, I do want to go into the listening with Vegas. A little bit of confusion in this listening. So let's tune in and see what's going on.
Window, underbow window. Vivid.
I've lowered.
Inbox done.
Look at that.
Top tree. Three, last kid. Four, I'm getting in the truck. Yo, stay close.
One guy's on stage. Only one. No, only one.
It's not me. I need help off spawn.
I'm opening you.
He's bottom P4. Got him.
Gate. Tom, gate. He's going lower. We're close. Nice.
One shot. Go look stage.
I am.
Got one gate. Bench weak.
Stage, he lied in.
I got you.
I did. Where is he?
One shot gate at all.
Yo, calm down. Yo, we need to listen. Okay, we need to listen. Backstage.
We have 2 streaks now, right? I'm holding. You have right side.
Stage, I died.
I'm camping in the back.
Give me a streaker.
Yeah, you can.
Shaking. You're back doors on me.
Back door's dead.
I spawned out front.
Three steps.
You have a pinch.
3 steps dead. Let's pinch. Let's go.
Just flood it.
Benches. No. Let's go. Left side trash.
Trash and Angel. Open. One shot.
Hey, one shot.
One's open.
Two open. One behind stage. Guys, we need to work together, man. Come on.
Alright, yo, let's get this time.
Calm what you're doing. Let's play this time. One more shot. Two behind stage.
One more then.
Weak on stage.
Okay, so you can hear some frustration coming through at the end of that listening. I know even with the streak, I think TJ said initially that he was going to streak. He ended up dying. I think the reason why he didn't want to streak the second time around is because they had 2 dead. So he just wanted to play numbers and just kind of rush the point. There was kind of no point of streaking. But a little bit of confusion. And you also heard Clay trying to get everybody to relax a little bit because they're just kind of running at the point. But they get to a fat lead, but this slowly dwindles as Boston brings this one all the way back. This one went all the way down to the wire. I think it was like a 1-point game or a 2-point game. What did you guys think about the listening? I mean, Chris, you just came back. I wanted to get your opinions on Standy too on his Vegas Legion roster. I think Standy's been doing good.
The listening, they sound really frustrated, but I mean, like, they were in the right positions and they had the ideal scenarios for them to break like the hills and put themselves at an even bigger advantage, but like they just weren't executing. So a lot of the time you just heard Clay, like, obviously, like, slow down, we got to get kills, we got to start working together, like, because they had a free pinch, the guy spawned out maps, he had a free pinch, he didn't like get anything out of it, the guys on stage couldn't do anything, they were just wall banging the stage, like they just weren't like making plays and they weren't executing, so that's why they were frustrated. But in terms of the roster change, yeah, I mean, dude, like Pat said, it's a no-brainer. They needed slaying power. This team obviously wasn't built on having like superstar talent, and for them to obviously have Donnie on the team who's been playing pretty well, and then Clay who's played really well this stage, and Tej obviously always looked good in search, for them to get like a superstar caliber sub player on their roster is a blessing. I think this is best case scenario for Vegas. And although I didn't have them winning this match, obviously because it's just like their first game with their new team, you could see signs of life with this team in terms of their respawn, their slaying, like being elevated by Standy's gameplay. So good move for them.
Yeah, this was a play from Big Wake towards the end of this game that I really liked. I like that he stayed pushed out here. Just thinking about next, just trying to be a nuisance, and look how early he gets here. I mean, I'm rewinding it back to about the 30-second mark. And I think he ends up getting this spawn right over here. Boom. Which was interesting. I think it was maybe because that person was pushed. He was putting pressure by that left side, right? That's probably why he spawned out, right, Chris? Because he put pressure on the left side and kind of looked towards the back there.
I think it's more so because of the stage for some reason. So yeah, he's blocking the spawn on the left, but the stage spawn is still open. And I don't think, I think the person that was like looking at towards stage, like through like closed door, is probably what influenced the spawn or something. I don't know.
I thought maybe it was his number 8. I don't, yeah, the P2 spawn's there, but I mean, this was a weird spawn. This was a little weird. I mean, I wasn't really too sure what that was, but I like that that off that spawn, he slow plays it. Like instead of just running and blacking out, I just think he makes a really good play here, just kind of staying alive and playing his life. And then he really helps him out here. His team goes down, but he's able to find a 2-piece. I think he stays in his cubby a little bit, finds a bunch more kills. But Ben, I wanted to bring you in towards the second half and going into a third rotation. You felt that Vegas, when they went around here and they're getting the kills, that they wasted a little bit too much time here. You thought they were playing too slow. What did you think here, Ben?
Yeah, they trying to set up. So even before that, obviously the big wake situation, he went big on the P5. I thought they got a really good opportunity. They got like a couple of kills, and they just sort of didn't really push in this 4v2 here. There was a little bit of hesitation. Even before that, they'd gotten 2 kills in the way they got around, and they were just trying to guarantee spawns. The problem is they went so slow that Boston actually spawned out and then kind of repinched them. And they ended up kind of breaking P1 and not having P2. And so there was sort of a mad dash on their end to kind of get it from the front. And then we'll get to sort of the crazy ending in which TJ and Standy go massive for them to actually just win the map.
I'm not too upset with them playing too slow because it's just like a gamble. Like there are 2 frontline players that were like furthest pushed up on the map were both AR players. And if they like, let's say pushed and got caught sprinting, like that's going to leave their subs to kind of like stay alive and try to hold like the back line and prevent a flip, which if they did flip in that scenario, that's probably why they were playing too slow. They knew they would have lost. So I'm not too upset with them playing slow. It's just one of those like MW situations where it's just like, oh, I got to push, but like I know I gotta hold, like my teammates are off spawn, like it's just not an ideal case like scenario for them, and they're just trying to make the best out of it. And they ended up getting really scary here when they flipped. I thought like
they
this
all
was the
pushed
L,
here,
dude.
Chris. I think they should. I think one guy just needs to hold here, especially if you have 2 dead. I just feel like all of them hitting the point. I mean, this got scary because they flipped again. They all pushed the hill. They all pushed old. They left those back spawns open, and then Boston flipped out right behind
Clay
them.
tweeted about it. He said that he was upset he didn't like play those spawns.
Oh, he tweeted about it? I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nah, Clay definitely right there. Somebody. I mean, I guess Clay tweeted it, thought it should have been him, but he did that. And then, obviously, the flips come in last second, Boston, it looks like they're about to win this map. But no, it's TJ. He storms through side door, finds 1, finds 2, finds 3 on Reese Vivid, plays his life, finds another one. That's 4 for TJ towards the end half of this game. In this last and final hard point, this last P2. Really good plays from TJ. 38 and 24 to end this one. Not only did he pop off at the end, but he's also the top fragger in the lobby. TJ looking really good in the hard point. Any final thoughts on the respawn or on the hard point, the first map? Good plays from TJ.
At the end, just if Boston just chowed together, because I kind of knew the last guy was in Cubby, they probably would have won that map. But I mean, they got 2 pieces needed at the end. I don't know. It was just classic P2 chaos. I think Vegas should have won the map anyway. They kind of tossed that big lead on the P4 and P5 on the back end of that rotation. But a good dream start for this new Vegas team that picking up Standy. They got the performance from him early.
Yep. Chris, any final thoughts? Pat, any final thoughts?
No one wanted to win, bro, but they ended up getting it done right at the end with the clutch from Tej. But yeah, I agree with him. I agree with Ben.
I summed it up in my pick, Tom. That's kind of how I felt about this whole series today.
Pat, you like what you saw out of Standy and TJ today?
Yeah, I like what this duo's got so far. I mean, this is a good test for them too. This Breach team, one, it being an online match, but 2, I mean, how this Breach team kind of plays. They play at an insane pace, and I think, the fact that Standy and TJ are able to, have such a hot performance so far. I know there's honeymoon stages in every roster move, but yeah, I'm kind of stoked for this team and what they might be able to do this major. And I also have Standy in my fantasy, and so he was super respecting my fantasy. I think he had the highest points per day total. So yeah,
it's good work. And then we obviously get into the LSCLO S&D back and forth to start things off. We get into the 4th round here. It's tied up at 2. I just think Standy should get this bomb here. I didn't really like the play here when he kind of pushed through A with the bomb and tried to make a play with it. I just feel like if the A bomb set is open, you might as well just get this bomb down. And he decided to try and play a kill here. And he ends up getting taken down here. Boom. And Beans wins that one with the pistol. I mean, do you guys agree with that? That maybe he should just get it down, 2v2 situation, play his life? I mean, I'm pretty sure they knew. Yeah, they knew where both guys were.
They knew where both guys were. They backed them down. Yeah, like your AR is kind of a little bit out of the play. So if they do repush middle, you're kind of effed. But yeah, no, they should have planned and played for the post plant.
And then
definitely not the ideal scenario. But at the same time, he's just afraid of like, okay, I'm going to go plant this bomb. My teammate's nowhere near me. If they just run at me and get good timing on me pushing, or good timing on me planting, like it's just round over. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not ideal, sure. But I mean, that's probably why he didn't plant. He just didn't want to get ISO'd.
And then we get into the next round, and this is where Standy just makes a really good play. He ends up just popping a daddy route. You can see him on a mini-map, the number 6, right? He's playing court. He waits for his dead silence. As soon as his dead silence becomes live, he pops it, and he's going to be the first one to entry in here. He's going to go all the way around the back. He's going to find one, and then instead of just running around, I like that he plays his life. Just kind of slows it down, plays a corner, waits for his team, and then TJ somehow wins this one on the Beans. That's good shots out of him. Just letting Standy be that opening for them. Great plays from him and TJ, and they continue that going into the next round. It's Standy and TJ who are in a 2v3 situation. TJ's going to push out low tool, and this is the best spot, right? Like, if you're down a man, that kind of gives you the green light to go rogue. Listen, you're down a man, make a play. And I think they do a really good job here. Standy somehow finds one while he's stunned, and I like that TJ with confidence just chows the last guy. Good plays there from TJ and Eli. A little 2v3 from them. Really good job from them. And then as we go through, it's Standy again, who finds a two-piece early on. He breaks through court. We've seen him play court a couple rounds already in this one. And he just busted a door. He finds one, drop shots the corner, finds two. It's a 4v2 within the first 30 seconds. Eli really showing out here for these guys in his debut with the Vegas Legion. And then obviously we go into the final round. Boston gets one more on the board, but love the heads up play from Vegas here, because you can see the bomb goes down in the 3v2. Somebody's going to shoot. Donnie sees him run, and as soon as he sees the bomb planter run off of that bomb site, they go right for the defuse, and I love that. I love that they just hop the defuse, play the ninja, watch over him, and they go up 2-0. It's a good job out of Vegas.
That's my favorite play. When you see the bomb is not planted for, like, the top side, like, it's planted safe. They have to bust in there or, like, chow the window in order to kill you off bomb. And if, like, you just get in there quick enough and just have a guy stick it and then just watch over him, like, they have to chow. Yeah. So, like, that ninja's always a good play if it's planted for the safe area.
Yeah, Pat, what did you think about the map number 2? I felt like Standy and Tej again, just like playing off each other, like working routes, using their dead silence. It just seems like they got a little rhythm together right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a dangerous duo. I think pacing wise they work really well together. Also, Tom, these two teams were the number 2 and 3 game 2 teams, like game 2 win percentage. Mm-hmm. These were number 2 and 3 in the CDL. So another good S&D win out of Legion. Maybe their S&D is back to form with Standy. Again, I think it's a pacing change, something that like all of them honestly can benefit from.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on the second map before we head into the control?
I would say that Vegas did the Vegas ARs, as much as we talk about the subs, I think especially when it comes to this map in S&D, I think the ARs on Vegas do a good job of generally countering the other opposite AR players. They're going to play more island, especially when they're kind of setting up, the other team setting up for the default on offense. I thought Beans was essentially a non-factor the entire map, and I want to tip Donnie and Clay for their work.
Yeah, no, good work as well. I mean, even Donnie today, I think it was Clay in the interview said, I guess Donnie after the match was like, "That was the first time I've been carried in 3 years," or something like that, which is hilarious. But you could tell it really, Donnie really liked the fact that his subs went off today. And then we hop into the Expo Control. This is the first time in the CDL we are watching Expo Control. Curious, I mean, just right off the bat, what did you guys think? I mean, Chris, what do you think about the map? Me personally, before you guys go, I think it's better than Fortress. I think at least you can win on either side, and I feel like it's a little bit more... It's just not as fugazi. It's not as cheese as Fortress. I just really don't like how teams are constantly getting pinned on Fortress, and every round looks the same. I just feel like that map's atrocious. But what do you think, Chris?
I definitely like it better than Fortress. It was kind of weird at first. There are definitely a lot of angles, and it could get kind of slow at times. But I think as teams get better and better at it, you're going to see the pacing of the map progress. Just some little tidbits, I guess, for some of you guys that may not have played the map as much, or just kind of like, you know, getting into it, playing in ranks, stuff like that. The most controls play the same, right? You always have one like primary site and one that you like give up if you're the defensive team and you kind of want to lock down one. A is definitely that site you want to lock down, because if you just like string like a line of your like players up the like side of the A side of the map, you just spawn the enemy team inside like the expo hall in that bottom like corner, and then you can just spawn trap them and just cut them off in the hallways. B is going to be that site where people are going to like maybe try to defend it off the rip a little bit, but it's going to be low priority for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, I was going to say, I haven't played the map, but from like an eye test thing, and I do agree, it probably is better than Fortress by default. I mean, Fortress was just terrible, but this map style just reminds me of like a primo DLC map. Like, it just feels like a pub map. I don't know if you guys have that kind of vibe. Like, and I'm talking about dating back to like COD 4. If you guys remember like the broadcast center map on COD 4 back in the, or whatever it was called. it just gives that vibe of like a pub map.
It's like a weird. It kind of is sort of a 3-lane map, but like all of the lanes are massive. And I agree with you, Chris, in terms of how this map
And the buildings.
will evolve. I think the A cap is super important. And you know, Clay talked about before they in the post game match interview that they actually have played this map quite a bit. They've been trying to play it more than any other team. They play usually 5 times a scrim, but from what it sounded like as we watched sort of Boston win this offensive first round, he said that once Boston took this round from them, they were a little bit like off their game on what they wanted to execute going forward.
Yeah, I mean, they just got A, and like as you can see, if you look at the mini map, once you get A point, if you're like the defensive team, you're just spawning like on that. Yeah, you're spawning on that back like I don't even know what to call it, snow side. Everything's snow, but like you're spawning on the bottom side of the mini map, and you're just so far away from B, like it's impossible to get there. And then on top of that, the reason like A is so important, and you hit, most teams will hit it like their first push, is because that's the closest you're going to spawn to A damn near the whole game, unless the other team pushes out B. If once they push up this A street at all, you're just spawning so far from it. So like A is always going to be your first attempt point, unless you're just trying to go for like, okay, let's go guarantee this B hit, and like we have like 2 minutes to break A. But like besides that, you're probably just hitting A off the rip every single time.
Yeah, Boston does a really good job on defense, just filling in the gaps, like on the map. Like they kind of just like fill in their lanes and just kind of push Vegas Legion back, and they actually hold on this defense. They kind of pin it. You can see what Awakening is doing now, right? And we've seen Celium do this, right? And rank play. I seen a clip on Reddit and kind of some of the pros breaking it down, but you can really pin a team back on defense and kind of spawn them into that upper left-hand corner of the map, like here in this back corner. And I guess, Chris, I'll ask you, but it kind of forces them to OE and get away from A. Like they either have to rotate back and play these kills, or they just OE, and teams, if they do it right, can kind of funnel in through B and then push out this left side, and they could just kind of trap teams here.
There are 2 areas of the map that are like very important for the offensive team to hold. Your first one is just make sure that number 3 can't get to where he is, because that just essentially blocks the A spawn. The second one is where number 2 is right now. If you were to pause it, like anywhere around these hallways, like
the top windows
bar,
and stuff.
Yeah, up top bar or bottom bar is just to prevent you from getting spawn killed, because it gives you space to come out of that bottom door. If you get killed and you have no control of these hallways, you just can't come out where number 8 is, like period. You have to take the long route where number 7 is and full wrap your street, otherwise you're getting spawn killed. So there's just 2 primary areas where you like live, retain map presence. If not, you're just getting
you can see how Boston set it up, and look, I mean, just look at how Vegas's lives just drained. But go ahead, Ben.
All I was gonna say is if you watch what number 1, like I think the counter to number 3 going to where I think what Hardpoint Hill is like P3 or P4 when you play this in Hardpoint.
Yeah, like the bottom
you
left.
can go through the side door and cut like either that back alley or pinch them. So like there is ways to get out of that trap. There's probably nades.
You're talking like right in here, like the side door here, where you can like pinch mid and like pinch back alley, like in here.
Because I think you could probably push up a little bit farther left, but I just don't think you end up.
There is 100% a mega blender you can put a team in that is very similar, if not potentially worse than Fortress. It's just like it's like insanely harder to execute, and I think that's like why it's better. Because the Fortress one is essentially just given to you after you get like a 4 dead. This one is like you have to like get 4 dead, then get to like certain spots, and then everyone win another transition gunfight, and then you get them in a mega trap, which is like super hard to do. So,
but every control you've ever played, like even like Raid, like you were always able, if you would get enough kills, to set up people in spawn traps.
It happens on a silo, it happens on a hotel.
What makes this map better is that at the end of the day, I think there's a wide enough lanes to get out of the trap where you can hit nades and not be funneling through like doorways, just hope getting lucky.
Yeah, if you get put in a mega trap on like any of the maps nowadays, you're getting slammed. So like it doesn't even matter, right? Fortress is one of those where it's like, oh, you lost 1 wave, it's game's over. Like, of course this map's gonna be better.
And then I found this interesting. When you go into the 4th round here, Vegas ended up doing a 4 stack towards B off the break off, and they got it right away. But to me, it didn't seem like Boston really cared that they were stacking B early. Like, it almost seemed like, hey, man, who cares? Let him have it. We'll just hold A. Like, Big Wake just pushed up that left side again, like, early. He, like, didn't even care about B. I mean, is that something that we're going to see now? Like, is A that point that you just can't lose, that you just have to hold on to?
Yeah, because once you lose A, like you're spawning so far from B, and like the lanes that you need to hit to get to like to attack B, unless you take a mega long route around the top of the bar or like pinch out the theater room, is like through these small little doors. So it's like you can't lose A. A, like that's why I said earlier. Like A is the point where you are going to stack. Like B is gonna be your throwaway point.
Boston does such a good job here.
I also think, Chris, like we're going to see people probably learn how to also take long routes to hit B and like spawn the defense out like almost at the bottom of that driveway instead of close to the building. So like I just think it's gonna be really hard to hold.
What, B?
Yeah, just because we go the long route play, and I'm sure people will figure it out. They'll take a little bit while in the meta, but like spawning them where like number 3 is, you know what I mean?
Well, B is just the obvious like give up because there's no like close B spawn. Like there's like no actual like number 1, number 4 where they spawn. That's probably the closest spawn you're gonna get to B, unless you have the full map control spawn, which will spawn you a little bit further into that like lobby room.
Yeah, and I feel like if somebody gets pushed up here, Chris, like into lobby and stuff, like they can those like that 1 and 4 here that's spawning, right? Like when they spawn up right there, like somebody can cut them. Like if they're capping B.
You can put people in a mega blender if you're the offensive team and like you take like pinch routes and like because most people like they're gonna avoid wrapping. Wrapping like is like a death trap if you wrap towards this like back like where number 8 and number 5 are. Like wrapping towards that area of the map is really hard to do because it's just such like there's so many open lanes that like if people set up crossfires you're gonna get like bodied. A lot of people are gonna opt to flank the like tight hallways underneath like the bar and try to get around and into their glass. Once you get into their glass, like a wave or like you get like a wave of like kills or 2, and then they'll just spawn in the back like parking lot, like the driveway area, and you just like farm them.
Yeah, and Boston,
that's like the ideal way to play it, in my opinion.
And then Boston were able to hold on a defense again, just pretty much just setting up the same way, just really trying to push out this left side, like not letting Vegas get close to that 8 point. They were able to win the defense. It was all defensive wins except for that first round where what you guys saw, where Boston was able to win an offense and kind of push Vegas back. But it was a good map. Boston come out on top. Vegas, they still struggle in control. I mean, Pat, we'll go to you. What is going on with Vegas in their control, Pat? I mean, these guys are really struggling, I believe. I think what's their record? Like, they're getting dumped on right now in control.
They won 5 controls all year, Jesus. I think, right?
All year. Lord, 3 different rosters, too.
Yeah, that is not good, bro. That is not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like kind of maybe the same thing that like Clay was getting flustered about in the hard point. You know, obviously I'm not in their game, so I can't say for sure, but just seems like they don't value their lives. They don't coordinate as well as, you know, other teams. And I think it really bites them in the ass in control more than any other mode.
Yeah. And then obviously we hop in to the embassy hard point. And again, I just want to note that in my opinion, I felt like Boston really struggled to hold hard points here. I mean, one of them being this P3, right? Like they get here early. Clay, he's going to get to this low ladder. And I'm not even just sure how everybody just goes down, but Clay just climbs up the ladder for free. He's able to find one. And Boston, again, they're just spawning out. They end up getting pretty chained here. I think Boston gets the final bit of this time, but it was Vegas who was able to break P3. And then they're able to get these kills on rotation going into the P4. They really struggled today on P4 hard points. But I mean, Ben, we'll start with you. What do you think went wrong for Boston in both hard points today, honestly, as we get into the second map? Standy really had a good map in this one, as I'll scroll through it and show you guys some key points. But I mean, what did you think, Ben, overall?
I mean, I thought the subs were a lot of difference, or a big difference, I think, in this series. I just didn't see the same impact from Nero and Reese Vivid as much as we normally see from them in hardpoint. And I thought Vegas, especially on the sub hills, were playing really well. And there were a lot of like weird trolls from Boston. I think we'll get to like a P5 where Vegas like 3-hit gas, one of the Vegas players die, and they just never pick it up. Just assume they were gonna wrap.
That was towards the end of the game, I believe, right? That was
I think some
P5.
of what we saw, and I think what we're gonna see in some of the series today, see tomorrow, is I think some of the teams, with not having played matches in 2 weeks, are a little rusty with sort of the intensity required to execute in some of these matches, on top of the fact that the last time they played Call of Duty or intense Call of Duty like this outside of scrims was on LAN where there's no sound EQ. So I wonder if that combo with the factor is going to lead to, like, you know, results that are going to be a little unstable. That being said, I think there's still a deserved win from Vegas in this. I
was going to ask, how many teams do you think are back to running sound EQ?
All of them.
All of them. They're all running it.
Especially the ones that need points. Especially the ones that need points.
So they're literally playing like basically a different game online than LAN still.
Yeah.
Yes,
they just don't care.
Yeah,
of course.
I really like the routes here from Vegas on this P5 break. So you can see them all here. And you can see them come off spawn, right? Boom, boom, boom. They all come off spawn. I just like the routes here. They pinch from every lane. So number 5, he's going to take a long route left. And he's going to work the left side with number 6. TJ's going to slow play this, right? Like, he's going to slow play AC, like try and play a kill here. Like, he's not going to rush. He's going to wait till his teammates get pushed up the map. He finds one, Standy finds one. And now just like that, they're swarming the point from every direction because of the routes that they took off spawn. I just thought it was a clinical break from Vegas. If they keep setting stuff up,
deep.
Yeah, and they're spawning them across. I mean, if you're gonna hit pinches like that, I love the route from Clay. I love that TJ slowed down and kind of played a kill instead of just running. Vegas really set that up well because this ended up extending their lead going into the second rotation. But Chris, what did you think overall? I mean, Boston, I felt like they struggled in the hard points. Granted, the first map was really close, but Vegas in both maps was able to get off to a fat lead. It just seemed like Boston weren't themselves today.
I mean, dude, you guys were high on Boston in the what is it called? Well, the tier list we made.
I hate this you guys phrase. I really do.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, I know Boston's a good team, and I think highly of some of the players on their team, but like they're not slick, bro. Like Beans, he had a great event where he played really good against Optic the first time, and he had like a couple decent maps, but overall he didn't play the best. I saw a lot of stinkers out of him, and then Vivid, of course, obviously he has not been playing the best either. Awakening and Nero, obviously Nero's been like the shining star for this team, but like these guys are not as like good as people might think they are. I think they're a good team and they have the potential and they're starting to get better, but they are not up to the level of like where they're safe from losing to a team like this, like especially 100%. With a team that is making these upgrades. Like I think again today you saw another like poor performance out of some of the guys on this Boston team that like, you know, people are going to let slide because they're like, you know, like, oh yeah, dude, this guy's like, he's bringing a lot to the team, blah, blah. But like in reality, I'm like, these guys are not as good as people think they are.
We talked about it when we did the tier list. Like they beat Optic day 1 and it was a completely different Optic that we'd never seen. Like they played horrible. And then all they did was beat Vegas after that. And they lost their 2 games to the other top team. So I agree. I mean, I don't think they're like a top 4 placement caliber team. I think that was just how the brackets kind of play out sometimes at events. But
wait, hold on. Paul, real quick. Paul's in chat and he says that's one stage. I'm like, yeah, it's one stage, but like, bro, like they don't have a lot of time. And on top of that, of course it's one stage, but what are we going to grade them off of? Like, I'm not saying make a change. I'm saying like people are gassing them like they're the real deal right now. When in reality, I'm like, they're still susceptible and they still have pretty bad weaknesses that teams are gonna exploit.
Also, right here, this is a big. Oh, go ahead, Ben. You can go ahead.
I'll just say, Chris, like I get where you're coming from, but I think you can almost say that of essentially every team in like the top 7. I think they're all decent, but they can all lose to each other and sometimes lose to teams like Vegas. And I think what it comes down to is going into a LAN weekend, which team is going to have a couple of bread and butters in each game mode that they can go to, and then when we get to the grand final, it's the control S&D factor. It's
of course.
It's can you have a deep enough map pool that you play? And I think Boston can potentially check those boxes, but we haven't seen them get close to it yet. And there's only 2 more events left, so who knows?
Something that I didn't mention in the vetoes, but I actually think Boston lost this series in the vetoes. They were a combined 4-0 on Hotel and Hydro Hardpoint against this Paris team, and 1-2 on Embassy and Fortress. Somehow both maps get in.
That doesn't make any sense.
No sense. And also, Boston had never lost a hard point to this Vegas team. Granted, I know they made a roster change, but they also gave them basically the best maps, map percentage wise, to play them on. So that made no sense at all.
Yeah, I will all say that the Vegas thing in hardpoint is they were lucky. Even with Turiel, they were starting to win hardpoints more last stage. So I think this has been a slow progress that, again, combo with the honeymoon factor with Standy, like, makes for a good respawn combo right now for the squad.
I want to talk a little bit right here. How did Boston lose this year? I mean, I'm going to pause this. I seen that number 6 is Standy. I don't know if Big Wake got turned on, because look at Big Wake right now. He's looking at him. Standy's not even looking in his direction. And then Standy just whips around and kills him somehow. But I just think that needs to be traded too. I don't know if number 1 is up top. Is he up top? Or is he down low? I just feel like that needs to be traded out quickly.
He's down low.
Like, where's the trade? Where's the trade there?
I don't know. He might be scared of getting sound horde or something.
Nah, tripping.
I have no idea.
I'm
not saying it's excusable, but yeah.
Well, he actually, so he hopped through the window. So maybe it was hurt. To your point, Chris, maybe it was because he had no information. It wasn't like he was streaming the hallway, so he was worried about getting sound horde. But then he just gets bounced on by TJ.
I mean, but
so
they got 3 guys. Look at this. They have 3 guys swarming Standy right here, and they don't even play. They don't even play a trade here. Standy finds one. They play corners. They just sit here. They just turtle and hill. I mean, bro, if you know where he is, and there's no way he wasn't tagged up either. There's no way Big Wake didn't hit him unless he just completely missed every shot. But again, just another clinical break. Standy and TJ just absolutely dismantled
They're just
them.
tweaking, bro. They're not even reading the pressure like at all. Like they just like you said, they turtled in hill. The guy in the chair corner didn't even realize, oh, their guy could be backdoor and get freebied. Like they're just throwing away their lives, and they're not trading out any of the players they know like exist on the map.
Yeah, and then you look at the final scoreboard as we scroll through the rest of this. I mean, Vegas was able to build another fat lead, and you can kind of see again, just Boston. A couple of rotations already showed you that they just have a hard time just getting kills and literally just getting kills on rotation. They just seem like they lose their brains sometimes when they're rotating to that next hard point. But take a look at that final scoreboard. Vegas able to close it out. They win both hard points versus Boston. You can see Don Dada, he's cheesing. He was feeling really good after that one. We'll take a look at the final scoreboard. Standy, 34 and 21. What a map from Standy. Also great map from Clay, right? 29 and 21. Everybody pulling weight in the damage department. And then on the other side, everybody negative. Whole team's negative. They couldn't get anything going. What were you guys' final thoughts on the series? I mean, Pat, we'll start with you. Final thoughts?
I mean, you said it was a great map, but I just think it was a great series for Standy. I mean, he, especially in a debut series, he came out and fried as a sub, 1.21. I think most kills on the day. Both hard points, basically world starred. So, yeah, I think it was a great move by Vegas. And if you're a Vegas fan, got something to smile about for at least the next major.
Ben, what do you think?
I mean, they have a very interesting schedule, Vegas, for this split. They have to play after this match. They have to play London, LAG, Toronto Ultra, and Florida. So like them winning this game might get them a really decent path to getting 3 wins in a winners bracket. And keep in mind they're still in that battle with Minnesota for spot 8. So
who do you have them losing to? You named 4 teams I could see them beating.
I don't think they're gonna beat Toronto.
Yeah, but I think they beat Florida, LAG, and London.
They should, but at the same time, like this is still Vegas at the end of the day. Like they've never been perfect. They have like shown signs of life, but their control being so bad makes it so if they fuck up any of their bread and butters, they automatically are like 2-1 in a series.
But guys, we need to consider who they have to go up against next.
Bro, they lost
good Lord. Good Lord.
I mean, listen, all I'm saying is like they've lost some of these teams already this season, especially LAG. Remember, they had to beat LAG to make winners bracket the last major, and they didn't do it. So just keep that in mind. Yes, the schedule is very doable for Vegas. It's not a guarantee that they're going to find another 2 or 3 wins from the schedule.
Either way, this is good signs for them, man. They got Standy, and Standy fucking fried. TJ looked a lot better in Respawn today, and I feel like the only time we've ever seen like Vegas like beat good teams and upset good teams was when like Donnie or Clay was just going rogue, and they were just like, you know, getting by in their searches because they've always been good at it. But I mean, their Respawn just looks like night and day difference with Standy on their team right now.
Tom, before we get into this next one, you know, I've always since the issue happened a few years ago when I accidentally got you temp banned on Twitch, I've been you know, making sure that we don't break TOS here on the flank, and I think we might have to skip over this one, Tom. I think it may be breaching TOS.
Yeah, this was an absolute.
This was bullying.
This was absolute. This was a DoorDash challenge. Is exactly what it was. This was a DoorDash challenge. I mean, we'll get into it. The London Royal Ravens, they played the Los Angeles Thieves today. Mercado Hardpoint, Embassy Search and Destroy, LSC Control. You don't even need to know the next 2 maps because this was a quick 3-0. I mean, we'll skim through the first map, and you kind of see how LA Thieves dismantled the London Royal Ravens. But London, they got a new player coming into the lineup. Paul X gets removed from the roster. Yuli comes into the team. Obviously, Yuli, Challengers player, been playing down there in Challengers. What the hell happened to them today, Chris? We'll start with you. I'll skim through it, but there is really not much to talk about. If I see anything, we'll talk about it. But man, was this a bloodbath? What was it? Was this a 250, 100 hardpoint 6-0 S&D 3-0 control? Right?
I mean, bro,
and they 3v4'd him in the search.
There's nothing really to talk about, and I don't even think this is a case about like Yuli necessarily. I think like Nasty last stage was absurd, and like I don't think that he's going to be able to like replicate that. And I feel like if they want to at least be competitive, like they're gonna have to have some of their players that have had these like good stages, like step up, because these guys can't afford to like be average, because average for them is fucking terrible. And the thing is, they're playing LA, and like LA Thieves, yeah, they've had like rocky, you know, stages and rocky performances at LAN, but like, dude, this is a hard team to play against. This team has like a way better map pool than a lot of people. They might not always win, they have their issues, but when like these guys are on, like, bro, Kenny was literally dropping a 1 million versus these guys in the respawns, and then the search, Draza literally just went flawless. Like Ravens literally just came out flatter than flat. Like,
I mean, what are these chows from London here? What are these? Look at these chows from London. First, Nasty.
They weren't even playing the game, bro.
He loses. He loses fight. I don't even know why he even jumped out the chow that. I mean, Kenny's got a Vaz. He hits first shots. I mean, he arguably should have got the kill. Then Tank comes in after he dies. Solo chows back alley. There's 3 guys there. He solo chows. He goes down. And then boom, Yuli's in Hill. He's like, holy shit, what the fuck do I do now? They end up getting full control of parking lot, and the breaks come in. I mean, the breaks are instantly there. I mean, it's a good break from them. Just a lot of solo chows on rotation there. Thought maybe they should do something together.
The solo chows were a bad time, but they also played this entire series. It seemed like a fucking steel boots on their fucking feet. And we know what this Thieves team, when they execute the system they want, that they're one of the fastest teams in the game. Your counter that can't be playing fucking slower than them. And this is where London gets in trouble. They get ran in circles by other teams. And once we got 3 hills into this entire series is over.
I do want to say though, as far as series have gone this year, Thieves are the Ravens boogeyman. They're 3-0 against them, 3 sweeps, 9-0 map count, 18-2 S&D round count, 9-1 control round count. London is this is the last team I think they would ever want to play on a fresh roster change. They've just absolutely gotten world starred by the Thieves all year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think these guys are going to be anything drastically better with Yuli or any of that nonsense. But at the same, like I said, they're playing the Thieves, bro. Like, and like sometimes you're going to come out and have those honeymoon phases versus top teams, but there's going to be more often than not where reality is going to hit you in the face, and you're going to play a team that's just better than you, and this is what it's going to look like sometimes. It's not pretty, bro.
I want to talk about this setup, and I want to get your guys' opinions on this, because I was just going over this with my new team that I've been coaching, my team of golds. We've been doing coaching sessions, okay? What is this setup from London? Look how separated they are in rotation. They can't help each other at all here. Nobody's in a position where they can help a teammate here. Nobody.
Oh, this is faded, bro.
This is atrocious. Look how separated they are. They could get singled out here. All it takes is for one guy to get singled out, and a whole gap, a whole lane just gets opened up. And that's exactly what happens. I think number 3 goes big. God forbid number 3 doesn't go big and finds 2 kills here, but he finds 1, finds 2. But look, they die and nobody's even there. Like, they win 1 fight. They won 1 fight, and they're already swarming onto this hill. And it's just because of how.
The fuck? What number 1 doing, bro?
So if you had backed it, I don't know what Nasty's doing, but if you had backed it up, like Asim was pushed out all back alley, and like he was dodging everything to get into that situation. Like, he gets back down, he gets naded, but there's no help for him. Yuli's standing on the wall. Yuli doesn't get his trade, and to your point, Maddie's fucking out of the play.
Nasty's still there.
Nasty's middle map, and by the way, he's not really watching anything because 2 guys went through fucking P3. Like, I don't know what's going on here, man.
Oh no.
I mean, I just don't understand. Like, they have to play tighter on rotation. They need to be in positions where they can help each other. Because even right here, like Asim, like if they're gonna be playing like this, like if they're gonna be playing pushed out, I would almost rather want to see number 3, even though we got a 2-piece. Like, hey, if LA Thieves checks that corner, number 3's going down too. Like, he's gonna die too. Like, granted, he got a 2-piece, but you can't rely on him to get a 2-piece every time. They need to be in positions where if 2 or 3 of them go one way, they can just turn and help, type of shit. You know what I mean? Well, right now, they can't really help each other. Like, they can't. They're so separated. They're so stagnant that if somebody falls, which is gonna happen, like LA Thieves is gonna find a kill somewhere. They're not in positions where they can trade and help each other quickly. You know, if they were playing around 10 and playing around back cubby and playing like dark and tighter together, they could just turn accordingly based on the information they get. You know what I mean? I don't know if you agree with that, Chris, but I'll let you kind of take the floor
no,
here.
I mean, I agree with it. And I mean, number one's just sitting in mid cut. Number one should have instantly spawned where he spawned by P2 and just literally flanked immediately towards dark and started like pre-pinching the people that are hitting in that direction. 100%. If he would have done that, then him and Asim would have been able to maybe coordinate something when he read the pressure. Number three, being pushed out's a little rogue. Yeah, he goes big. But at the same time, like, they're just not playing for a funnel, bro. Like, they're not playing tight enough. Your first wave is where you have to be very careful and you have to be in positions to trade, because if you don't do that, well, you're spawning fucking in Africa. You literally just got to play tight, play the first wave, then push out, then go rogue when you get the funnel going. Like, there's
also, they're watching the same thing. Number one and number two here are watching the same thing. They're both watching dark. Like, number one is watching the cross to dark, and they're already crossed. His timings are way off. And number two is watching dark as well. He's laying down on hill watching dark. I mean, it just, to me, like, a professional team that's been doing this for a while now, like, they have to sharpen up on stuff like this, bro.
Also,
like,
number two is playing too hard to be on hill. Like, Asim literally is one shot getting pressured, and Yuli's just like, all right, I can help you kind of, but I'm gonna stay in the hill. Like, bro, no, help. Get off the hill. Like, white time is fine.
No,
like,
attack,
it's not that big of a deal.
Semtex or something, like, slow him down. Like,
the
do
wave
something.
is more important than 2 more seconds of time. You know what I mean? Like, winning that initial engagement, just get off the hill and help your boy.
Yeah, and that's just the story of London. Like, as the map goes on, I mean, they just really struggled to just lock down time, and LA Thieves just kind of run through them. You could take a look at the final scoreboard at 28-16 from Kenny, 26-16 from Envoy. I thought Kenny and Envoy, the two subs from LA Thieves, they came out swinging in the map number one. Pat, what are your initial thoughts on the map one?
I got it up for you, Tom.
Nah, dude.
Also, real quick, if you guys weren't paying attention during that rotation, all of like London, not all of London, but Thieves spawned on like both sides of the hill, and I'll tell you why. It's because they're fucking pushing out both sides on that rotation.
Yeah,
like you can't be pushed out on both sides. You're giving them you're not giving them one spawn. You're split spawning them. Like, stack aside. Block the old hill spawns, that way they don't get them, and then you're gonna spawn them out.
It's just like do they not coordinate setups like during scrims, like coordinate tight like crossfire setups where like if they go 3 back alley they can turn and help each other. If they try and go like 3 around garage, they can obviously turn and help each other. Like, there needs to be like some comms and stuff. There's just nothing there. There's just nothing. They look lost. They look lost.
They probably do, Tom, but like, you know, sometimes teams is like, we hear this all the time from coaches, and you're all probably on teams like this. You practice one way, you get a match, and then everything goes out the window. You forget everything that you learned. Like, I just seemed like one of those days for London where they didn't even fire up DS4 Windows. Like, they didn't plug their controllers in today, you know?
Yeah, and then we get
I might take your gold. I might take your gold coaching team.
You might have to,
series
Pat.
Against the Ravens, bro.
No way. No way, Pat. No shot. You think so,
With
Pat?
you coaching them, Tom?
Pat, we are getting better. We are getting better, Pat. We're getting better by the day. I think map count right now is about maybe 5 and 15. You know what I mean?
Better than London. That's better than London.
We watched that 1v1 that you just played. Like, this is a good example of like
Sound
issues London has on this map. Is they just, bro, they don't set any kind of pace on this map, and they get left in a 1v1. And look, I know that Maddie, in the situation, if you back it up to the beginning of this 1v1, that like Maddie's got trophies. He's really worried about making plays, and we know how crazy Soundy Q is on land. But just kind of doesn't even really play that 50-50, to be honest. Kind of lets the bomb go down, and on this map, that's just kind of not a particularly smart play, especially if you're top AC.
I think maybe he was just banking on hearing something, to be honest. Maybe just catching drives or just running around and maybe trying to, hear him. But he ends up taking a long route back through mid. I think he kind of just reads Maddie playing back there, and they both hear each other here. I'm pretty sure Tank hears them. You can see him start to tweak, and then Draza starts to tweak as well. So they both just hear each other. They're sound whoring each other.
I don't know if I think Draws heard him. I don't think Maddie did, because the way Maddie played it is like he didn't go and like fully push. Like, he definitely heard him middle.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He didn't
go check bomb. I just think. Listen, I'll love Maddie. I've watched him play a lot. Like, he is not always the fastest player when it comes to 1v1s. He definitely plays a little bit more deliberate, but I don't think he really plays any kind of 50-50 there, which was probably his best chance of winning the round.
Next round,
I think sometimes you just have to like play to like not give him the plant, especially because the thing is when you don't have Deddy, if he plants, like unless you kill him right away, like you are at his submission. Period. Yeah. If you're taking like gambles and like going to check bombs, yeah, he might hear you coming, but like there are safe spots you can like play where you're not going to just be immediately gunned. Like if you're running up top AC, yeah, you hear him. All right, snake the bomb, like see if he's down there. Top gas, like go top gas, like make some audio cues, bait him out. But once you just like play a 50-50, give him a plant, and then let him potentially get away, you are completely at his like submission. Like it's basically an auto L unless he throws. Like I don't know. I just didn't agree with him just camping a corner in a 1v1, praying that like, you know, he got good timing somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Just
speaking of not camping, the play that Draws makes in this 1v2
Yeah, it's
is
a good
insane.
play.
It's super typical.
That's a really good play. So he gets the bomb down. The way he plants it wide that London has no idea where he's playing. And then I just like the route. He just splits the gap on him, rotates back PD. As soon as he kills him off bomb, he knows where the last guy is. He just plays time. Just throws shimmies the whole time. It's a really good play. Nasty can't really do anything. Draza jump chows him with like 5 seconds left, gets the kill. It's a really good play from Draz. I mean, he's having the time of his life in this series. I mean, he's just having a field day as we skim through it. Then we get into the next round, and Envoy pops a 2-piece. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, Tom, so Paul's in your chat, and we had Paul in during the watch party, and I believe Paul's really good friends with Draz at Kazak, and he was saying that I think Draz definitely was disappointed with how he played at Major 3. It was probably one of his weakest events in a while, and it seems like he's been putting in a lot of reps, especially in search.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to the form that we've seen from Draz, like the beginning of this year and like the end of last year, and he ended up going undefeated on this map, dropping double digits. So massive respect to him pulling up and respecting my fantasy team as well, and getting good performance map too.
Yeah.
Got him as well. He was a $6 still.
No
yeah,
way, bro.
absolute steal.
And you can see Envoy. He pushes right through P2, climbs up the stairs, just walks up the stairs, and just shoots 2 people in the back. I mean, London's not even looking at it. They just get shot down. 3v2 situation. Asen was trying to do everything here. He got a couple kills, but then he goes absolutely rogue. He ends up jumping out here, and I think it was Draz who takes him down. I don't know if Asen didn't expect him to be there or what, but that's going to leave Scraps in a 1v2. He's going to fall. I mean, these rounds were going by quick. Even this round, 3v4 situation. If you're London, this is probably a round that you have to win. You push through P2. You get top PD control. I mean, I don't even know what happened here. Again, I guess they separate. Octane's able to find one. Envoy finds one. Just no teamwork at all from London. Good post-plant position.
Slammed, bro. Like,
getting
teamwork
slammed.
or
They're
not,
getting
like
slammed.
they're not even getting in like scenarios where it's like I'm getting teamworked, I'm dying, like them getting farmed. Like they're just losing ones too. Like the straight up ones just getting losing it. Like they just didn't. You guys are just facing their boogeymans. Exactly what Pat said, bro. These guys cannot play against this team and do anything.
Kenny 0-5 for the win. Draws 11-0. This guy Kenny was just chilling. He was just he didn't have to do nothing. He was chilling, bro. You know what I mean? Any final thoughts?
They actually 6-0'd them 3v4. That is crazy.
It's crazy, bro. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Bro, skip the series, bro. 3-0 smoked. Like, what is there to talk about here, bro?
Ugly, dude. The control is ugly.
What is there to talk about?
Control is even worse.
I actually want to tip Thieves on this map because this was their weakest map in their map pool at the end of Major 2, and it was a massive, I think one of the reasons why they didn't end up winning the grand final against Faze. And I think since then, their record on this map is actually really, really good. And they've actually put themselves in a good position going forward in control. Like, this is a team I would expect to master Expo pretty quickly. And they may suddenly become one of the best control teams in the game, just their sort of deep map pool. So I tip Thieves for addressing some of their issues from a few months ago. And really, you know, if they don't have another stinker land like they had last event, like they're prime position to.
You even tip them for this map after when they're playing a team that literally has not won an offense on this map in general. Like,
I mean, London's the world's worst on this map, but I want to tip Thieves for getting better at this map and not giving up on it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing around.
I know.
Yeah, they completely 3-0 sweep the London Royal Ravens. Both they sweep in everything. They 6-0 in control. They 3-0 in or they 6-0 in S&D. They 3-0 in control. You can see how fast they were able to win this round as well. I mean, they end up working like a 4 dead here, I believe. And they just, obviously, London, they just can't get to the point. Nasty goes down. The stacks come in. I mean, this was just super clean. You see Kenny, he's 18-8 to end this one. Great map out of him. 14-9 from Josh, 14-10. I mean, everybody's pulling damage. I mean, LA Thieves, it was clinical. Any final thoughts on this one, gentlemen? London, they got a lot to work on, man. They just seem lost, man. They seem lost. I think they need help, man. Like, they need help.
Help with what? Jesus? Like, I don't. What kind
I know what they need.
They need to learn how to do the basics again. Like, it's bad. Go ahead, Pat.
I mean, go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I don't do this often. You guys know this. I'm willing to come down
They can't
to
afford you,
2 mil over 2. I'll come
They
down.
can't afford you, Slay. They can't afford
2 mil
that.
over 2.
I mean,
it's
they
the
could take out a
same
loan.
thing.
They
It's
can
just
take out a
one
loan.
less year and one
Yeah,
less
one less
mil.
guaranteed year. Yeah, that's 1 mil less.
I mean, I just think I think like their last stage they were very competitive in a lot of series and they lost a lot of close series. The problem for them is like these are the next 4 teams they play: Optic, Boston, Vegas, and New York. Like it's really hard for me to see how this London team makes the winners bracket at this point. It's gonna be tricky for them to find 2 wins and get lucky with that schedule.
Honestly, with the way Pat put it, though, they did play their boogeyman. So for all we know, they could show up in the next match and it's actually competitive. Like they haven't been competitive against the Thieves in general with any of their rosters. So who knows how that goes?
Well, they play Optic on Sunday, so I
still got. I don't really got too much faith, to be honest.
Alrighty, well, let's hop into the next one. We got Embassy Hardpoint, Hotel SD, Hotel Control, Hotel Hardpoint, El Asilo, Search and Destroy. We got Atlanta Faze going up against the New York Subliners. Gentlemen, any thoughts on the vetoes to kick things off?
No, the vetoes were fairly predictable. I think the triple hotel just kind of seemed like inevitable with this series. These teams have played each other a bunch, and I think kind of to kick things off, it was a very awkward series. It didn't seem like either team was really brought their A+ teamwork today, and it went down to a game 5, round 11. And I think for both teams, they're likely going to make winners bracket. So no harm, no foul, win or loss. But I don't think either team really started off this year in a strong spot.
They didn't bring I feel like New York played this series really well. They didn't bring their A+ teamwork.
I think especially the search on their end, I think they still found ways to lose map 2 when I think that was a winnable map.
I mean, it's definitely a winnable
And
map,
then-
but they're still playing a team that is like basically like the best search team, and like they obviously could have won the second map, which would have transitioned to like a 3-1 loss if we're looking at the same results. And then like they go map 5, but they managed to put another search together after having another competitive search. So I mean, I think New York played this map really well.
I think my other concern for New York, I think, Chris, is that they were a bread and butter Fortress control team, and their hotel control has been kind of iffy this year, and it still looked iffy in this series. And obviously, Expo got banned, so that's like a big area for New York, because they got to find between hotel and Expo which one can be really strong, because they're a solid Asilo team, if I remember. Because that could be a strength that's now become a weakness. And actually, they're 1-5 in Asilo. I just looked it up. So
their Fortress record is Fugazi, though. A lot of it's from the beginning of the year. So it was when people were not like really in tune with it, and they were just kind of like going rampant and running rogue. But like they've been losing that map too. Like their recent losses on the map literally are all from like the last like, stage.
They were 3-0 on Fortress control last stage, Chris.
Were they really? I feel like I've seen them lose it. Didn't they lose? When did they lose it, bro? When was the last time they lost it?
Stage 2.
What are we arguing about right now?
Lord, Jesus Christ!
Listen, we need to talk about Slasher.
He had a really rough series.
Where has my man gone in the respawns? It wasn't just this series. It was Major 3 as well. He just had some absolute stinkers that was just not like him at all. And I know he's came on. He's talked about like how their S&D is godlike, and it is, and I'm sure he's been a big part of that. But we got to get back to the fundies and respawn.
Yeah, a hard point.
He's never been a bad respawn player, so I'm really confused on what's happened in the last little bit. That's just he's just been in a respawn funk.
Yeah, like, he's been having a hard time just getting kills. He's just really struggling.
He had 32 less kills than Cell, 35 less than Abizi. Like in a series, that's pretty crazy. Just when you look at it pure on the scoreboard, and I mean having like a 0.7 like for him, that's not like him at all.
We got back-to-back listenings, one from New York, and then it follows up by Atlanta Faze. So let's tune in and see how the guys sound. Start with New York.
Gas on me. Stop PD. Live on the gas, guys. One shot. Nice. That's that time. Mid time. One's laundry pitching. Watch your pitch. I spawn PD, bro. Mid. We can work mid. One's gonna spawn P1. One's gonna spawn P1. Pinch dead. I'm working on P1. I think P1. Yo, defense. One in hill. Defense dead. Alright, they're middle right now. Just stay alive, Paco. I'm rotating you. Mid-side Tetris. Absolute. Yeah, I'm going down. Stay down. I got your mid. Alright, here. Yeah, that's one. He's above me. What's going on? Sit on. Let's fucking go. Watch out, Ali going to gas. I'm standing mid. Ali dead. Nice, too. Simp is in you guys, I'm pretty sure. Heard you. He's on the heady. I spawn P1. Hold. One shot. That's one going court. I take time. You're good. Top. Court right now. He's weak. He's weak. Open laundry mate? No, never mind. I got named. Sign that base. That guy's weak. Two sign. One more sign. Nice. He left. Spawn gas. Spawn P1. Nade hill. That's one, guys. One more time. In hill weak. I'm coming bottom orange with you.
On one side. One close side. Two sides. One shot.
Close sign. AC
Yeah,
after.
two sides. I'm the ladder. Doing the ladder, right? At bottom orange. You can
I'm blocking blue. Ladder dead. I'm blocking you guys. They're gonna take round. One more on me. One sign. Low ladder.
One more gen. One more.
I'm only ladder. Last guy ladder. Yo, gas on me. I hear him.
Orange. That way. Can you heal?
I'm getting naded, guys. Aggro, you fuck up.
Dead. I'm busy. Good job. Get kills. Just get kills. We're good.
That's one on me. That's one
bottom blue.
That's one peeking. I got your bottom orange.
All right, that's gonna do it for the listening with New York. Now let's tune in to Atlanta Faze and see how the hell they sound.
It's time with their own. Listen in.
Orange on you. One shot. Near mid. Already kill it. He's not peeking. He's still not peeking old.
Yo, back gas. Back gas. Press. I'm pushing holes now.
Back gas. Back here.
I'm initial.
Turn on the back.
I picked you across. Top.
He's done stutter.
I don't see a side door. He's serious.
Alright, she just beat him. I'll do it.
Watch it. I'm on the back.
I'm in the back.
They went holes. They all went holes.
I see him.
They should dark. Three holes.
He's close back on mid. No more mid desk weak. Alright, all good.
I spawned the sign.
I shut it off right there because the frustrations are coming in from Faze after a break right there. And I want to rewind it back. Chris, we'll go to you. All right? The Call of Duty specialist. What do you not like about their setup here on rotation? What do you not like here, Chris? Or do you like it? Do you like their setup? Do you think it's not a bad setup and they just lost the fight?
I think they're playing a little time zone on the clock. They're playing a little bit too far pushed out where if Atlanta loses any fights, like they're just going to spawn like deep P1 because the whole next hill's about to pop, which is basically what happens. They're just a little too spread. They all lose 1v1s and then they just get broken.
Yeah, I mean, they end up getting one guy spawns out.
They actually did spawn. Wow,
one guy did. Spawn. Yeah, one guy spawned there.
That's because they gave it up. They gave it up.
I think the situation plays differently if Abizi was the one hill and not MC challenging halls, like because Abizi's out on the planners with a sub. If they had switched, if they got in a situation where MC's out there, I think this is a lot cleaner because then you can see Abizi kind of finessing halls and you play the way you want to play with Nair on a hill and your subs kind of pushing out. Instead, they got kind of a little backwards there.
I mean, it's overcomplicated, bro. They should have one guy in a hill with an AR just literally holding the hallway and somebody else like Eiffel Towering them and just literally beholding the same hallway and team shotting it. What's Eiffel Tower? It's like when they're both just like laying on top of each other. One guy's standing and one guy's spraying.
Hey,
what, bro? What? You guys are weird.
I will say, like in both these hardpoint maps, I think one criticism we've had of Faze's hard points was that the ARs were not getting enough hill time, and in I believe both maps, the ARs were getting the most hill time. I just think it came down to just some horrible setups on both maps that ended up making the difference. And yeah, I know Austin didn't slay the best today, but I think some progress for them on the hard points, but it's still their main weakness because at the end of the day, their search is pretty elite, but it's only going to carry you so far. Like we've seen on 2 Sundays this year, but they've gotten top 3. It was because the respawn failed them on that day.
The issue isn't the same as like the Seattle team because I don't think the Seattle team used to be competitive in search at all. But like they were in the same boat where it's like, oh, we're winning all our hard points, but as soon as they start to like lose those, like they're starting to lose their like bread and butter game mode. Like that's when you start getting worried for them. And they're still competitive in all their hard points. These guys just can't close. They can't close a fucking hard point out.
This is the first time in the CDL that FaZe has ever lost 3 series in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not good. Faze, they lost 3 series for the first time ever. I didn't know that. It's a good stat, Pat. And then we hop into the S&D. We get into the Hotel Search and Destroy. Love the play call from New York in this first round. They actually show A here, but they do such a spread on the map. Like they do such a wide spread that they end up just getting some information and ended up rotating this bomb back. So you can see one guy's going to go down middle. It's going to be a BZ. And then that's when they're going to rotate that bomb all the way through mid-map. They're going to rotate it over to B. And they're going to get the bomb down. Just really keeping FaZe on their toes. New York come out swinging here in the first round. A little nice spot from Kismet here as he jumps through the shelf. I know Shotsy has done this shot a few times, or this spot, but a good little spot for y'all that don't know. You just got to break this horse. And you get a little cubby spot right there. So, boom. Good round from New York. Then we get into the next round. I know, Ben, you were talking about this round, but Austin probably needs to get a kill here. Would have been a really big kill if he was able to get one on the pinch before going down. But I like how New York, they do everything together, right? Like they double jump at Austin and they double jump at Abizi and they kind of just get mowed down. Great teamwork from the New York subliners there. Really good play. They end up going up 0-2. Go ahead.
And then from FaZe from there start to get some rounds. And I think it's Faze countering well to what New York does default on defense, like taking middle and taking couches. And I think some questionable decisions when New York got some bloods, especially on these defensive rounds, as you're going to watch like kind of after this round where Faze just kind of run through them. And I think they kind of, I would say I think New York probably had a good shot to win this map, but they tossed a bunch of rounds mid-round after getting bloods.
Yeah, one of them being this round right here. I thought this is a round that New York should have had. So you can see on a kill feed, right? Priest is going to find one with an aid. That's onto a BZ. Finds another one. It's a 4v2. BZ goes a little rogue on a Chow. Or not a BZ. Priest goes a little rogue on a Chow, so he's going to fall. And now it's left with Slasher and Celium in a 2v3, and they just kind of pick them apart. I like the play from Austin here to just kind of back up. He feels that presence coming through main, and they kind of just funnel the New York subliners into D1 and D2 desk, and Celium and Slasher are able to clutch the 2v4. So that's probably a round right there, Ben, that the New York subliners should have won.
Yeah,
right
there's
there.
a weird, I don't think I've ever seen a team often in a situation like triple hit info desk and they just trap themselves.
Well, at least they tried to do something together.
I mean, I like the fact that they tried to do something together and they tried to basically prevent a bomb plant by like attacking like one way and hoping they'd catch the guy planting or something. It just didn't work out. I mean, yeah, they probably should have won it. There's probably other plays they could have made that maybe have been safer, but at the same time, I don't mind the fact that they tried to do something together. It just didn't work. Like it was executed poorly, and Slasher got like Slasher and Celium both got freebies on like the attempted hit. So
then we head into the next round, and Simp just runs out of bedroom and pops a 2-piece somehow. Not even sure how the hell he got out of bed.
Anyway, how did he get out like that?
He just ran out. He just ran out of bed. Like, look, this guy's distracted.
They just hard countered, yeah.
He won a 1v1, and then he just kills this guy. Boom, 2 dead, and they just got full control of A. I think Simp ends up just playing this corner here. Somebody ends up trying to jump at him.
Sky's got back down. So if you see that in this situation, Sky's actually gets shot at, and I think he crouches down because he's shooting at number 4. I think Austin was shooting at him. And that's how this guy crosses because Skies is weak.
Yeah, I think they just literally went for a full blind counter at B. Yeah. They just chowed, which draw attention from like the players on the main desk towards like the people shooting at him bed, and then he just flies out and takes the one-on-one info desk and catches them off guard.
Yeah, and then this is another good round. Faze in a 2v3 situation. Abizi's going to make a play onto main. He's going to find one. Celium's going to have a big 1v1 here against Caesar. Sky's bueno. He's going to go down. Sky's trying to challenge the gunfight. And I love the stun here from Abizi. This is a really nice stun grenade. You can see how he was able to do it. I think he heard him coming from the spawn, so he ended up just kind of banking that stun off the wall. It was just a really good stun grenade. Got to use those stun grenades, man. Got to use those tacks. As Abizi hates the stun, they're able to clutch up the 2v3. That's another round where New York has numbers, and it kind of just get picked apart by Faze. Faze with the clutches. Good plays coming out of them. Then I think it was New York. They were able to bounce back. Faze, they go up 5-3, and this is where things get interesting. Abe, he ends up going rogue in this round. You can see he pushes through couches. He ends up finding a timing here. I think it's Celium who ends up distracting them. And I love the confidence from Abizi. He finds a gap on a map. He's able to find 2. Now it's a 1v1. It's Celium versus Priest. Priest is going to bring this all the way back towards B. He spots Celium here. He knows he's playing there. He has a jump on him, so he's going to get the bomb down. Then he just starts bumping that headset. P-Dog. Here's Celium coming through the back. MC tries to open up the door. He gets challenged. Good wins from P-Dog. They're trying to push this to a round 11. But it wasn't enough as Faze was able to close this one out. They end up doing a straight-up B hit to close it out.
Oh, we should show the wall bang, though, in this round.
I'm going to show the wall bang. So Caesar Skies, you can see his teammate Kismet dies in B. Check out the wall bang here. Able to find one in between those desks. Good little angle there. Good little spot. Didn't end up helping as Slasher's able to find one mid-map. He kind of playing that island. We know Slasher loves to play that island. So really good plays from Austin to pick up a Slagler coming through mid. And then, boom, Paco's able to find one, but Slasher finds another one. MC cleans it up, and just like that, the B rush was clinical from Atlanta Faze. They tied a series up at 1. We'll take a look at the final scoreboard, but any final thoughts? I mean, Pat, we'll start with you. Final thoughts of the second map.
No, just another another S&D win out of Faze at this point, man. I mean, I wonder, what's their, like, Ben, do you have their full CDL, like, this season record in search? Like, everything?
Yeah, they're 31-10 in search this season, and by far and away the best team. The next closest team is Vegas with 22. So like that, they're clear like best S&D team. I will say though, I think the situation they get into a lot now, and again, I think this speaks how good they are a search team, is they're getting clearly hard countered against by a lot of teams, and especially on a CeeLo, and I think they're doing a good job of countering. adjusting that. But that's just what happens when you get to a spot. You just have your target on your back, and teams gotta really prep to face you in that game mode.
They just gotta fix their hard point, bro, and they might. 76 win percentage in search. That's like, damn.
Well, I think it's a combo of like they're never gonna be. I think it's gonna be hard always in the CDL just be some dominant hardpoint team. I think you can always pull up to an event and like one map really clicks for you on a weekend, and so your hardpoint record might be really really good. I thought the one thing that no one seems to be mentioning on social media and like Reddit and stuff is I thought their control really let them down at the last event, and if they can kind of improve their control, like they're gonna be able to grind out a lot of these kind of series against better teams. Combo that with a decent like hardpoint map that they find out, I think they're gonna be back to like their major 2 form. But their issue they have right now is because they're not really winning either respawn map consistently. Is every series is just really really sketchy.
And then we get into the control. It's back-to-back defense wins, so we're tied up at 1. This is where Faze, they were able to get the offensive win. They do a good job getting to A early and kind of pinning the New York subliners back into their spawn a little bit. You can already see a Beezy and Simp, right, going to work. They get pushed up quick. They don't waste any time. And they just kind of delay. They open up this backside of the map, and now they're left in a situation where New York, they have to hold this B point for 2 minutes. And Faze just do a good job working the 4 dead. And just to kind of see how they were able to do it, you can see the long routes coming in, right, from Selim and Slasher. They're actually going to go all the way around the back, while the Tiny Terrors, they're going to stay alive bedroom and just kind of play some kills here. They end up finding one guy bedroom. I think they hear another guy couch here, and they end up just swarming on this hill. Once they push through back Sana, they kind of know where everybody's at. They pick up the last guy behind them. They stack the point. They work the kills. Good patience, good routes. They're able to throw the trophies down, and just like that, Atlanta Faze were able to work a B stack here in the offense. New York wasn't able to get close. They just kind of get mowed down on a hill. Good job out of Atlanta Faze as they clutch up in the defense. They just don't let New York get any close. Any thoughts on the control? Anything that you guys saw? I thought it was a good offense win from Faze. Then after that, they just stayed pushed up here on B, and they just didn't let New York get close to this one. It was a pretty clean map from them. Chris, we'll start with you. Any thoughts?
I mean, this is just a good map out of Faze. I didn't really watch this one too much, but I know that it went. What did it go last? Did it go last round? They went 3-1.
This one was 3-1. This one ended
3-1. Yeah.
Faze won the offense, and the rest were just defensive wins. The Faze was just holding bedroom, and just kind of slaying out for the rest of the round. They just did a good job, just roaming, getting kills.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't watch this one too much. I did watch the last map though.
No worries. No, good round from Faze. Any final thoughts, Ben, Pat? Any thoughts? Any final thoughts?
No, I thought this was a return to form for Faze in control. I thought, the issue at times that they've had on this map has been both subs really playing well, and I thought both the Beezy and Simp were just super annoying on the last couple of rounds, both in kitchen and in bedroom.
This got scary though. This got scary.
It got scary. Guys in the chat just saying the Terrors were kind of really putting a lot of pressure on them this map. And
that's not what he said, man.
I mean, I go back.
He said the Terrors were in his cheeks.
I was trying to, be a little more polite about it, but there you go.
Yeah, no, they did a great job this map. They were just constantly staying pushed up, and on the defense, they just did a good job staying alive. They played their lives a lot. They were just pretty much just getting kills, playing TDM, playing corners, sound whoring, and getting kills, man. That's all you really got to do in control on defense. So good round from them. They win the map. They go up 2-1, and then we get into the next map. It is a hotel hardpoint, and the struggles here from Faze continue. The P3s were really pissing me off. Faze, they just always push up too much. They just always die on rotation when it goes from a P2 to a P3. We know how important those P3 hills are and how hard they are to break, especially if you get a trophy down there and you just start snaking. But both times they get too aggressive here on the rotation. I mean, there's 30 seconds left. You can kind of see how it all falls. I would like to see them just hard rotate here. These two guys that ended up pushing through old, maybe because they were already there, they end up spawning out. They end up getting these back spawns here. This one, I guess because they had won some fights, they thought that they could get some scrap time here. But New York do a really good job just getting out of those back spawns, like running away, opening up those spawns, and flipping Faze as quick as possible, where they were able to work a break here. But Faze, again, they bail themselves out. Like, this is a mistake that Faze made, but again, they find ways to bail themselves out because they have the talent to do so. But they do the same thing on the second rotation, where they just absolutely just troll the rotation away. They just push up, they die in the last 15, 20 seconds, they spawn out, and then they got to try and bail themselves out again. I mean, little things like that. I don't know if there's anything there that you thought they could have done differently, Chris, going on that rotation, but I just feel like on this P2 hard point, like you got to chalk some of this time, man. Just chalk it. Just like rotate left, like chalk. If somebody wants to push it, try and make a play, do it, but you got to be careful. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
I think you need to stack. I think you need to stack mid map and maybe like apply pressure and stay around like couches in bed and like siphon off that side, because I don't think you want them going around. And I think you should probably like let your front be like your weaker side. I think they tried to stack front, which the reason they did that was obviously you thought that they could potentially hit scrap time if they got like another kill or two.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
And then they ended up just getting like overwhelmed at the hill. They bailed themselves out. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big promoter of just giving up like the front restaurant side and more so playing towards mid and like making sure they don't go around bed.
Yeah, it's a big 3-piece there from Abizi on this P4 rotation. That won them this one because they ended up getting a lot of time on this. And then going into the P5, thought Paco made a really good play for this last 30 here. You can see him down low plat number 8. He's just sneaky, man. He finds those gaps and he finds those timings where he's able to do stuff like this. I mean, you're thinking a full 30 is about to go to Faze. And just like that, Hydra's able to make the play and just completely disrupt the Faze hold. So he opens it up for New York. Really good plays coming out of Paco to pick up this last 30. And then as we go into the second rotation and we go from P2 to P3, it's the same thing with Atlanta. Same thing here. You can kind of see how it unfolds. So take a look now. 18 seconds. These guys try and push through front and mid here. Look. They end up going down. It's going to be Simp who gets caught out front bed. Abizi's out in nowhere front bed as well. And look where they spawn. Boom. Boom. They both spawn out. Now they completely lost numbers on their rotation.
I want to see what happened when they spawned. Like what? Like they spawned and we're like, okay, let's get a rotation here. 24 seconds.
They're out trigger. See, Simp is just waiting. Abizi's waiting around for a kill. He tries to cut off mid. Simp also tries to help. I mean, they're even better off just backing up bed there and just cutting off mid. Or if you're going to do that, cut it off quick. Like, if you're going to hit front bed, do it quick. Like, don't worry about D1, D2. Like, cut the map. Like, get there quick. And then Simp, if anything, can slow play bed. Like, Simp can play this. Like, slow play it a little bit. Because once they get the kills, new hill pops, as long as they're blocking, like, they'll spawn front. Like, they'll all spawn, like, over here. Like, Diner. They'll spawn front. They can kind of funnel them to the front. Snake Hills. I mean, what would you have done differently there? Or do you think they just got unlucky?
I mean, no, they definitely could have like wrapped back. I just think they almost got unlucky with their spawn. Did you not see? So most of the time, people like look where number 3 spawned. He spawned in bottom bed. Instead of him spawning in bottom bed, he spawned like near the escalate. I call it Eskies, but he spawned near long. So like it created this like
4 different
awkward,
spawns.
like,
They got 4 different spawns.
But that's what I'm saying. It creates some awkward shift because like right here they're like in shift. They're like, okay, number 3 go pick up main. Number 2 I'll pick up where number 3 was. Instead it just gets like some awkward timing, which then he gets like sandwiched.
Right.
So I mean, like they had the right idea. The spawn kind of fucked them. Like the weird timing of it. Like it was just awkward.
It's awkward, but I feel
could have played safer.
I feel like with 15 seconds left, like you know that New York is gonna run at you bedroom. Like every team pushes off old and tries to go around the back bedroom for the most part. And their teammates just spawned at Jules. Like they have this cut.
Yeah.
Like I just think they could have played that a little better. They could have maybe held.
He spawned long instead of like in the bottom.
I mean,
of the fucking bed,
this was
like,
crazy because
normal.
you could see how the spawns come in. Like when Faze dies, like look at where all the spawns come through. Like one guy spawns like up here, like Jules. Boom. Then one guy spawns like closer to him, mid. Boom. Then one spawns bedroom, and then the other guy spawns like low hall. And the one guy they spawn in a line. They spawn in a complete line.
Why?
Still thought they could have played this better though. Still thought here. I still think right here when you get those spawns, like if anything, like you like just play a corner, like or back up and just like hold like.
Number 2 could have literally spawned up and just L triggered in front of him and maybe caught a guy. Like
yeah, because now they're trolled. Now they're fucked here. Like somebody's got to go big and be a bailout, and I don't even think anybody bails them out here. I think they end up just dying. Yeah, there's one. Last one up slasher. There's 2.
I mean, I think a really underrated play in that situation was Sky's picking up middle and killing Simp off of the rotation. If you back up, like he's top catwalk and he kills Simp. If Simp kills him off a catwalk, they probably pinch and probably hold this because the guy was staying maybe alive in hill.
Well, Simp gets a kill catwalk. Simp gets the kill cow. He pushes catwalk.
Caesar kills someone. Does Chris?
Caesar kills Simp because he trades Simp.
Yeah,
like
trades
Simp jumps down.
him. Okay, yeah.
What were you saying?
No, but he actually spawned up before that. There was another kill. It's not what I was talking about. It's before that. Caesar's correct. But But to your point, like I think if FaZe had played either of these P3 cleaners, they'd probably win this map by 100. Instead, you know, we'll watch this P3 play out. You know, New York had a lot of time on the P4, and then they close out with the really good break on the P5.
You're talking about right here when Caesar's top cat and he ends up picking up Simp on the pinch. It's a really big heads up play from Caesar Skies Bueno. Caesar, that's that reputation right there, brother. That's the reputation, you know.
Because if Caesar doesn't get that kill, then number 6 is like, well, shit. Now, like I'm trying to like make a break play, but I'm also worried about getting repinch. So.
And that hurts FaZe right there. That rotation right there, FaZe could have won the game or just extended their lead. And then New York, they stay ahead of rotation. They're able to bring it back here, and they end up just kind of pinning FaZe here. This is where things get mixing. This is where things start getting hectic. We go to this P5 hard point, and these guys just go absolutely nuts. Just nonstop trades. Everybody's flooding. Everybody's throwing their tacks. Things just get absolutely hectic. In this one, Skies is able to find a 3-piece. Great plays coming out of Caesar, as he's able to find coming through Jules, and then they just kind of push out the spawns here and just kind of pin FaZe back. It was just good plays out of New York to hang in there. They took advantage of some mistakes, and they did a good job with their spawn knowledge. New York is really quick when they get kills, man. Like, they get kills, and they make use of them. Like, they'll spawn you out, and they'll make your life miserable. So, great job for the New York subliners. Any final thoughts on the map 4 before we head into the map number 5? Great job from New York, man.
So not the map 4, but I had Turtle look it up because I was curious. Slasher has a 0.86 in hardpoint since the start of Major 3, so after they obviously won Major 2. That's low for him. I would, 0.86. I mean, I know they've been not doing the best in hardpoint in general, but he's still doing fine in control, still doing fine in S&D. So hardpoint's a big kind of outlier for him specifically, compared to everyone else on the team. So
what I would say is that if you notice again with both hard points, like him and MC had a large majority of their held time. Like they clearly have switched up a major execution of their hard point system. They're still not closing maps. I think that will come with time, but hopefully that improves with a more hill-based role instead of what he was doing before with the cutoffs.
Yeah, and then we get into the last map. It's an El Asilo S&D. FaZe do such a good job just getting into A and just getting it down. They did it like 3 or 4 times. I was actually curious. I was actually wondering why New York, they didn't blind counter it ever. Like why they never wanted to just like stack A or play kegs, just kind of like blind counter them back. I mean, I know Caesar's in the chat. Maybe teams are just scared to stack into A sometimes with tactical usage, right? Like maybe they just get tacked out. Like they just hoard a bunch of stuns and nades in there and they retake it. But, if FaZe is doing it over and over again and they're constantly getting that A bomb down, I just think it might be a good play to counterattack.
I think it's hard to do it the first round without a trophy. I mean, we've watched a lot of teams. What they do is they once you get later on the map, they'll pop the door up and bank a stun. And if they see a trophy, they know people are in there.
Yeah.
I mean, New York loved the A retake to what Caesar said in the chat. Like they had a couple of different types of A retakes they did. They did the triple flank. It worked, I think, once. Then the killer one was when they flanked through the control point. But
yeah,
I mean, the retakes, again, if your retakes are on point, so be it. But I think people have tried a lot of different defensive looks against this FaZe team, who are one of the better teams on offense, if not one of the best teams on offense on this map.
And this was a crazy round from New York. I mean, they get the bomb down in a 2v3. FaZe spot Kismet in the hut, but they just kind of tunnel on this guy Tool. Like P-Dog makes some noise Tool. They all focus him. He runs away. They lose him. That gives the opportunity for the Bulldog. It's the P-Dog and the Bulldog. They're working with each other, man. P-Dog's out of there.
A really good series, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Today.
He played really good. He played really good
today.
Shout out to P-Dog. Then we get into the next round, right? And FaZe, again, you can kind of see how they set it up. They slow play A. They get into that A bomb site. They get the bomb down. They play a post plant. And FaZe was able to get another round win on the board. Just playing. This one got sketchy because they did die here. Simple's left in the bomb site by himself with 10 seconds left. But they both rushed to the bomb site. No time left on the clock. They go up 2-1. 2-1 round. Love the route here from Kismet. Kismet makes a really good play here. Really good heads up play. Think he ends up popping the dead silence here. I don't even know if he popped Deddy here. Maybe he didn't even pop it. He gets from behind. He pops it early, so he pops it initially. How the hell did Kismet get here? Did he run right up mid-map? He runs right through Keg Lane, right up the middle of the map. Check this out. So Kismet, not afraid to make a play. Pops the dead silence, gets behind Atlanta FaZe here early on. And he just makes a good heads-up play here. Plays his life. He's able to find one onto Slasher, and then he backs up, plays his life here. Really good plays from him. P-Dog spots one low pool. They're kind of all over the map. New York just working those gaps. MC's off by himself. He gets traded out here. We're tied up at 2, and then we'll hop into the next one, and it's Paco who takes the route. Take a look at that mini-map. Number 8 finds a gap. We see New York do this a lot, right? It's not the most consistent way of playing, but hey, if they're confident and they're finding these gaps, I mean, hey, if it works for them, it's just I worry about this sometimes when they get to land because I don't want them to get picked out. I don't want people to be waiting for this because we've seen it happen before where people just wait for New York to make a play and they kind of just get caught slipping, but.
The thing though is they did have the info, and because I think a BZ had shot at them before, like from like the left side, like lumber, like next to like white or green, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And I think number 7 was also top like party, like watching over him, kind of like just trying to feed him information or protect him a little bit. So he wasn't doing it solo. Like he was pushed up on the map by himself, but he had help getting into an advantageous spot. Yeah, and they already had pre-info like. Popped. So
one thing I love about New York is they're not scared to make plays and do something. So at least I'd rather see them trying to make plays and do stuff like that than doing nothing at all and just standing around. So then we get into the next round. I thought P-Dog could have clutched this, man. Thought he could have had it 2v2 situation. Atlanta Faze finds Skies down low pool. Last one up is P-Dog with 12 seconds left on the clock. He's gonna put some shots down into the bomb guy. I think he panicked here because he literally couldn't see the bomb carrier or the bomb diffuser. He tries to just jump out and absolutely world star with the knife. He tries to go nuts right there. I thought maybe he could have clutched it if he reloaded here. Yeah. Like, instead of panicking, like maybe reload, take care of this first guy first, and then take out the knife, run to the diffuser, and just kill him. Like if he takes down MC here, might have been able to do it. Because he saw, when he tagged Slasher up, he saw him get right there. Like he saw him get off the bomb. Like, he should know that he bought himself some time there, unless he panicked and thought he was on it the whole time. Maybe he thought he was on it the whole time.
Back up to the, like, when there was another man up for New York. I'm curious about how they end up playing this hold.
Well, one guy was low pool. Skies was low pool. Like, why? Like,
they knew that this guy was above him. They heard him the entire time.
Yeah, they knew he was there. I mean, it's also just a predictable. Everybody always plays up there on a
Caesar got jumped on. That's tough.
Yeah, it was a good play by Faze. Good job from them, too. Just to work together, single out Skies, and obviously get to that bomb and kind of get P-Dog to jump out, kind of get him scared a little bit, make him panic a bit. Good plays from Atlanta Faze. They were tied up at 3, and again, I mean, check it. Look at this. The A bomb site wide open, and I'm guessing New York is just doing it on purpose, but the A bomb site's wide open. Bomb's going to go down. This retake got a little sketchy here. It starts with Simp. He's going to go down in that bomb site. Multiple trades are going down. Abizi's camping a corner low pool, and I think it's Kismet or somebody from New York ends up hopping the bomb here. And you can see MC. He's going to actually put some nice shots down and get him off of it. So really good place from MC to catch him stretching that bomb. And then things get sketchy here. This is where somehow, some way, Skies almost gets the ninja defuse. You can see Salium jumps the corner. But man, was that close. Good heads-up play from Skies. They would have stretched the bomb a little bit earlier. Like, I think Kismet was trying to. I don't know if he got it as stretched as far as he could, because Skies got it stretched even farther than where
we
Kismet
need to go
was
to planning school, or is there no safe, or is there no way that you can't stretch the bomb?
I don't know.
Plan for the window, because I've seen teams, I've seen multiple people or get to like stretch the bomb out and they can't see it, and then I've also seen teams where they're like trying to defuse it and it's in like the worst spot possible. Like, is it a case where people need to go to playing school, or is there just, or can you stretch it at all times? I'm actually curious.
I'm more worried about stretching and getting killed planning, and that's why they're not doing it. They're trying to.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, people. Yeah, but I wonder if people could like if there's like maybe like a lineup on the ground where people can literally get it every time. I wonder if people are going to go or have gone that far, because I feel like it's inconsistent. Some teams they plan it and they can't see the bomb from the window because they misplan, or they planted it and the person's stretching it, and then other times they get it down just right. So like, I don't know if it's a case for that where somebody maybe has to come up with the lineup to get the perfect bomb down every time.
I love this round from MC. He's just always patrolling the flank, like just making sure nobody gets up top on him. He ends up dipping back here and reading this pressure from New York here on the pinch, because you can see Hydra. He tries to make a sneak play. MC gets another one. That's 2 on the round from him. He gets traded out, but MC picking up those pinches and finding those kills, it slows New York down a bit. Faze are able to get the bomb plant down, and then Abizi does the rest. He finds one. Last guy's over his head. It's P-Dog. He's going to try and jump and Abizi. Good shots there. They're able to go up 5-4. This round from this round from Faze, I don't know if you guys like this strat. They just try and get aggressive here. I mean, look at the play here from Abizi. He just hits the YOLO, man. He says, screw it. I'm out of here. He's going to jump the corner. Paco finds an easy 2-piece. Not sure if I like that play right there. I mean, they're up 5-4. I feel like New York's got the pressure on them. Maybe they wanted to take a risk there. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a bit of an unorthodox play. I mean, trying it up 5-4 on defense when you've had issues denying the bomb play. I don't think it's the worst idea. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't mind the play, but they definitely tried to take a little bit of a risk there and get aggressive. Try and blind counter or maybe try and catch them off guard. I don't mind it. At least they're doing something. And then we get to the round 11, which in this one, I just think, again, New York, they let the A-bomb go down. They play another retake. New York just pick apart Faze's setup. I love how New York ignores everybody pool and everybody on the pinch. They just focus bomb site initially. Like, they don't worry about pool tables. They don't worry about this desk. They just dive across, get this guy off the bomb site. And then at that point, that's when they collapse on a guy's pool. They know where Slasher and MC are going to be. Like, they know how they like to play. They know what kind of guns they're going to be using, where they're going to be playing on the map. I just feel like the New York Subliners read Faze in this round. I feel like they read him to a book.
That was an easy read for them. If you watch this Faze team play on this map, you just know that Celium is either playing an island on one side of the map or he's top pool. And like, if he's not there, then Slasher's playing one of the island spots. Like, and they just, like you said, they just ignored like those sides of the map and they just made them look stupid.
How much was the Bulldog in fantasy this major?
I'm not sure.
I think he's probably decent. He probably like a 7 or an 8, right?
Probably 7.
Not because they had a poor major 3, so he would have went down.
It depends on how many points you got. I don't know what their algorithms like to determine.
But their entire team is at least like a 5 to like. I don't even know if they have any 5s. I think they might be 6s and up. Like, I think their entire team is. Priesta might be the cheapest because I don't think he played particularly well leading up to this stage. But
but I probably wouldn't have picked him. I would have picked.
I think my final takeaway from this series was,
P-Dog was 6. That's their
another matchup with these teams that went to a game 5, and this time New York clutched around 11. I think always when these teams play, it's a banger. I don't think either of them brought their best Call of Duty today, but I think more so for New York, this was a really good performance considering how poor they played the last major. I think they really, really, really need this one to get some positive momentum because things have been a little bit rocky for a few weeks with them, and if they can parlay that, they can get back to the form we saw in Major 1 because the last 2 events they've been to have been really rough.
I mean, we'll take a look. I mean, unless you got any final thoughts, Pat, any final thoughts? Chris, Ben, any final thoughts on the day, on the series, anything?
I'm glad we got to see a fucking Expo. That was a good watch.
I don't know. See, I don't know how much we're going to get of Expo. I had a feeling that Vegas might play today because of how bad their control is. Like, fuck it, why not? Like, just play.
I think they might be. I think there's going to be the anomaly teams that let it in.
Buck, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yeah, people might say it's not that good. Obviously, it's probably a Band-Aid replacement. I like it better than a CeeLo, bro. A CeeLo's actual hide and go seek ground war, like just.
But is that like strictly from rank play?
No, bro. Like I've literally, I mean, from watching it, like I can literally see how it plays. I'm not a stupid like player, Pat. Like I know how the map will play, but if just from playing it and seeing it played, like, and just watching it, like instantly, I just feel like it's better than a CeeLo.
I think the problem is control just sucks. So like all maps are just
shit. Like every map and but control in general is fucking horrible. But like I like just watching it and playing it in ranked and stuff like that. It just feels like, for me at least, I'd prefer playing that map in a series over a CeeLo, bro. That map is horrible.
I mean, control is just garbage, bro. Control is just utter garbage. I mean, let's just call it how we see it. But let's hop into the predictions, man. We got Minnesota going up against the Florida Mutineers. We got Boston going up against Toronto. That's going to be a good one. We got LAG going up against the new look to the Minnesota Rocker. We got Rocker playing twice tomorrow, which is interesting.
Because they're playing.
But that is absurd, by the way. I know they have an event. I know there's a reason for it, but that is an obscene advantage. Like the fact that they play Minnesota plays Florida, they get a warm-up series in, they probably win that, right? Or they potentially win it. If they probably win that.
If they lose, I would say it's the opposite.
Okay, maybe. I'm not saying they. Listen, you guys. Listen, let me finish. If they win that, let me say it again. If they win that, we'll lose that, whatever. They get a warm-up series, like. And they're playing it, and they're playing technically on LAN. I wonder if they're playing without sound EQ, like because they're all there, like it's monitorable. You know what I mean? If they are, that'd be cool.
It depends on if they're playing on with the league PCs and the league mix amps. That would be if they were.
I mean, either way, like you got what they don't even need the league mix amps. If they just like, yo, don't use it. Nice, you're in the same room as me. Like if you use it, like I'm fist fighting you. Like
the reason I'm saying the league PCs and the league mix amps is because they had a specific firmware or whatever driver.
Gotcha. I mean, regardless though, it's like, yo, like come on, you were in the same room, like competitive integrity. But regardless, like the fact that they get to play twice is absurd. That's an advantage.
It's just it's a. I would say actually it is. Where Rocker team is at right now with how bad they played the last stage, this is potentially massive momentum for them starting off 2-0 in the league, or potentially worse with their their change. Obviously, they dropped Attach earlier this week and pick up Fame, so they're gonna play Florida and LEG. Those are winnable matches, but let's see what happens because they're not.
Bro, I don't know. I'll be honest. I think Florida's like the one team I wouldn't want to play if I was this Rocker team. Like coming off a roster change, playing like a completely unorthodox playing team. Like I don't know if Florida's the team I'd want to go up against.
I'd want the flip in the series. I'd want to play LAG first.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, I don't mind.
And then we got Thieves going up against Seattle, which is the last match. LA Thieves Seattle is going to be a good one as well. So we got some good matches tomorrow. We'll go predictions. First match, Minnesota going up against Florida. Bro, I have no idea what to expect from Minnesota tomorrow. I literally have no clue. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm going Florida. I don't think they made the right moves in this intermission or this break.
Yeah, I'll go Florida as well. I'll go Florida 3-1. What do you got, Ben?
I got Rocker winning this last map. I think it's going to be an absolute heater. Florida, I just don't know what to expect from them. They've been serviceable at times at Respawn in some of the series they played last stage. They've been horrible at S&D, but they are playing like statistically one of the worst S&D teams in the league. So I'm just expecting just a super weird series, and it's going to go game 5, and Rocker will win it off of just, the new team change and some of the momentum in the environment around them.
Hey, Chris, who do you got?
I got Rocker. I mean, like, I really don't know what to expect out of them, but like something tells me they're just going to come out and win. It's like their event. Like they got to win it. They got to put on for their city. But at the same time, like I got Fame in fantasy. I just like took another gamble. I always do this with the new rookies. So I'm hoping he plays well for my fantasy, man.
Cool. And then we got Boston Breach going up against Toronto Ultra. Also, huge shout out to Noisy Butters coming in hot with the raid. Hey, appreciate you, Noisy Butters. Shout out to Butters, guys. Everybody get a Butters in the chat. Get a W raid in the chat. Show her some love, guys. Show her some love, man. Come on. Boston Breach against Toronto Ultra. I got Toronto. They're the champs. Scrappy's going to come out confident. Boston, they didn't look too good today. Their hardpoint looked a little shaky. Just little mistakes.
Didn't Boston play Ultra last stage online too? Like their last group stages? Yeah, it was what Standy was on the team, right? That was what caused him to drop Standy. What the fuck? You're playing again the next stage? Is that even like normal? Am I stupid?
It's
normal. It's happened.
Really?
It's Fugazi. I mean, it's Fugazi.
I just haven't noticed it. I haven't noticed it.
That is Fugazi.
Format sucks.
It's a product of the unbalanced schedule. It's just you get some of these weird back to back ones where teams play online. That's just how it is with what the schedule we got.
I got Toronto 3-0. I'm going DoorDash challenge for the series.
Oh damn!
You're going to DoorDash challenge for this one?
Yeah, 4:30. Good timing.
3-0.
I'll get my Faze sub just in time.
Yeah. Bro, you're funny. Is that everybody? Ben, you go. Chris.
I didn't say anything. I got Toronto. I didn't say anything, but yeah, I got Toronto.
Who do you got?
I expect Boston to play much better in this series. But this is a danger zone for Boston because I think if they get waxed by Toronto, it's going to get a little dicey momentum wise.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be competitive tomorrow, though. Unfortunately, I don't have them winning. I think it's going to go game 5 and Toronto will win.
Alrighty, then we got LAG, Los Angeles Guerrillas, going up against the Minnesota Rocker. I'm gonna take LAG in this one. I want to see Jody Thieves exceed like those guys. I feel like they've had some time now to fix on some of the mistakes that they've made and to be a better team. I expect them to come out tomorrow. They play Minnesota Rocker. I mean, it is gonna be Rocker's second series, so you guys could take that how you want it. You guys might go with Rocker, but I'll go with LAG on this one. I'll go 3-2. I can see this one being a close series. But what do you got?
I'm going LAG as well. Look, Ben, I think you were faded in the first take saying that the Rocker Florida game is going to be a heater. Rocker's on an 11 S&D loss streak, an 8-map loss streak. I don't think swapping Fame for Attach is enough of a change to turn this team around. I think they're still horrible until they win an S&D or a map for that matter. I will never pick them. So yeah, I'm betting I'm betting the house on Florida and LAG tomorrow.
Yeah, but they could have been mentally checked. You know what I mean? Like
They still should.
and they
be.
just made they got like a roster change. They might be rejuvenated a
Did
little
you see
bit.
their coach's video? Did
Yeah,
y'all watch
yeah.
that? Was that not like the most confusing
I was
thing
so
you've ever
confused.
seen?
I was
So
so
confused.
confused.
I talked to Dylan after it got announced. Like I was helping him on stream, write his tweet, and like Dylan said, like it got to the point where like they would lose maps and no one would say a word. Like their chem was down bad. So I think that's rock bottom. I agree. I don't think swapping Fame for Dylan is going to allow this team to be really, really good. They are playing two teams I would consider weak. I think they're going to have a little bit of new team energy in the Florida series, and from my perspective, they win that Florida series. They feel good going against LAG, and I think they're
Also,
gonna wax LAG.
fun fact is Fame was running a submachine gun on Rocker Academy.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Prior to being swapped out for Attach, which I think he's going to be running a flex. I know he can
That
do
was
it because
main
he
AR,
has
I
ran
thought.
it. Well, either way, he's running an AR. But either way, I've seen him run AR. I know he can do it too. But I'm just saying, recently, at least, he's been most practiced with a sub.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
kinda weird.
Real,
Would they have
real
got-
weird.
Would they have got Real if the visa issues wouldn't have been like?
That's a rumor. That's what people are saying.
Was like that's what I'm saying. Was this even their like
Wait,
preferred change?
I have no idea, but
know if
I
that's
think.
true.
But Jose did tell me that he says like his visa doesn't allow him to play in the CDL or some shit. Like he says he was having visa issues, so maybe you guys might be onto something, and he was not the first
His
choice.
visa didn't allow him to play.
I don't know. He's
What the hell does that- what the hell does that mean?
he's got good English, but the way he DM'd me, I was just like, what does that even mean? I just kind of like ignored it. But he was like, he basically tweeted something about visa issues. So
That didn't make any
maybe he
sense.
wasn't. Maybe he wasn't.
I'll say this for Rocker is like this
Needs
is
to work
probably
one.
one of the most important days of matches they're going to play all season, because if they pull up to this day and have a clunker, like they are going to be even more lost than they were before.
Especially with
this stage.
Vegas. Does Vegas
Yeah.
actually overtake them? Like,
No, Vegas is 10 points back. So if they get 0 and then Vegas win their next match and they're tied.
Yeah.
So like all of this advantage that Rocker had on top of if they go like,
wait,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't. By the way,
Rocker didn't-
Real doesn't have a working visa. That's what it is, Chris.
Yeah, so it's a
Okay.
visitor's
He has
visa.
a visitor's
Rocker
visa.
didn't.
That
Rocker
makes
didn't make
sense.
champs
I'm,
last year,
I'm
right?
not a visa expert, so like, let me rock.
Has
How does
Rocker
he not have a? It's just super weird. Go ahead.
has Rocker missed champs every year?
No, because they
But they've gotten-
they got fourth at Cold War champs, right? They missed last year. That was the only year that we had the top 8 cutoff, right? We didn't have it at Cold War.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Didn't
that's the
have it?
only year we had. No, we didn't have it in Cold War. In Cold War, everyone went.
Really?
Oh.
Am I
I'm
cooked?
pretty sure we went to Cold War chat, right?
Yes, everyone went to Cold War champs.
Do you guys all have LAG in this match?
No, we might have actually had the cutoff in Cold
Yeah, I
War
do.
because that was when they reached
Wait,
those
really?
points. Yeah, so they made it in Cold War because they.
What year was it that we didn't have the cutoff?
No, yeah,
just
they
modeled for
didn't. 'Cause
2019 because
Only one year?
Yeah,
wow.
Isn't LAG the only team that's never made a champs?
Yeah, I would probably be correct because London's gotten fourth at champs. Like,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first year. Yeah, so LAG's
Yeah.
never made it. Yeah, the only
yeah,
team.
no, I think for Rocker, there's a massive day of Call of Duty. They can get some really positive momentum with this team and do something, or they may still have more questions after tomorrow about what the hell is going on with this team and how they can.
I
get
got
out of
Rocker
this
winning
solid-
both their matches tomorrow
Oh, Paris
just
as
for
well.
the
My bad, yeah.
fame fantasy cheese.
Name change fucks with me.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next one. We got LA Thieves going up against Seattle Surge. Who do you guys got in
What
this
the
one?
fuck?
Tom, you're lagging TC
Tom
right
is
now.
lagging so hard, dude.
Well, who do you guys got? LA Thieves or Surge?
I got the Thieves, bro, but I don't know what voice changer
Nah,
you put on.
he's just going through the LA
It's team speak. It's team
uh,
speak. Just keep it going. You guys know what I'm
alright.
saying.
I hear Pat. You go first. Your prediction.
Yeah, I got the Thieves. I think the way they played today, they're looking good. I think they're on for a major bounce back in Major 4. Surge, I think they might follow the roller coaster this major.
You think so? You're swinging down.
Yeah, I think they're swinging down.
Who you got, Ben?
Let me look at my pick 'em. I actually picked Seattle 3-1 in this series. I'm banking on the roller coaster not kicking in. I like Seattle in respawns as always, and with Thieves it's always tricky. On the online matches, I've talked to Cap and Shane a lot. We've been on a lot of FIFA, and I think in general one of the things we're trying to clean up is just more consistency online. They've had a number of different issues throughout the season on that front. And so I don't think 1-1's a bad week for them, but I expect Seattle just to win this purely on sort of the map pull matchup.
Who do you got, Chris?
I got Seattle, bro. Got my boy AG putting on absolute work with the little with the way. Are they playing on new? Yeah, they are. They're playing with the Vaznev. Listen, bro, this is a Vaznev buff, by the way. The gun got buff with that new muzzle. You pull up so fast, bro. Like, listen, Pred's about to fucking fry.
All right, I'll go with LA Thieves. I'll go LA Thieves 3-2. I could see this being a good series. I could see it going all the way down to a last map. I feel like Thieves is one of those teams too. I feel like they maybe like kick up to the occasion, like when they play better, when they play a better team. You guys ever know teams like that? Pat, you were one of those. You play better against better teams.
Absolutely. I hated playing shitty teams, Tom. I just couldn't take it serious, bro.
You know what I mean? There's just players and teams that are like that, you know? So I'm gonna go LA Thieves over Seattle here. So I'll go 3-2 for that one. But all right, Ben, why don't you sync us out, hit a pop, do what you do best.
Got you, brother.
Okay, I don't want any problems today. I just want you to get up, sink the paw, nice and easy. Jesus, we can't see a fucking thing. Is this guy? Nah. Is this guy? Nah.
Dude, what the fuck?
Nah.
It's the way you crop the fucking cameras, though.
Let me see.
Oh, it's the way you crop it. What are you talking about?
Let me see.
Yeah, it's the way you crop it, bro. Because you crop me, and I'm always off center.
I'm looking at my camera right now. If you uncrop it, you can
fuck
clearly see it.
Go fuck yourself. Fuck you.
All I do is get chirped when I hit putts. Jesus Christ.
Shut up. Hit the paw.
I mean, hit them is like, yeah, you hit them, but you don't really make them too much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin is seen. What did he do? Did he lose the ball? Did he lose the ball? Ben, did it go under the TV unit again?
Hey, he's kind of caking.
Easy. Take it easy. Relax.
We're good.
You're right. You good? You good?
Ben's caking right now, bro.
He's good, bro. He's got the stinky slippers on. Did he have anything to drink today? I'm not too sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin seems stepping up to the plate. One of the best to ever do it. Jesus Christ. Ben!
Makes the putt, bro.
No, he did not. That went wide. He did not make that.
I swear I saw him make it, bro.
That was wide. That was too strong. Wide left. Nowhere near the. There he goes. That one he sunk. There he goes. Rolls right back. They're beautiful. Hey, what? We gotta go to a post game interview with Ben J. Ben.
I knew the minute
What happened? What happened on the first putt, bro?
I just pulled it. I pulled it right away.
Damn, bro. Too hard on that one, bro.
I hit it too hard and decelled, so.
Damn. Hey, Ben. Hey, it's always a pleasure, though, to watch you get up there and do what you do best, and that's hit putts for the ZooMAFia. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites that we're on, and go follow @theflank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running social, so make sure to go show him some love. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of The Flank, man. Have a good night, guys. Peace out.
Peace.